let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer Release podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Seconds remaining. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is all over. The Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
For the win. Draisaitl centers. McDavid tips it home. Game over.
Gretzky going in. Suter trying to get back.
It's the 6 o'clock and check-in. Come on, let's go.
And he scores. Leon Draisaitl.
It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
And there it is. Seth Hyman.
It's the cool bed, red hot Nielson show. Let's go.
The Oilers pouring it on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Smith from behind the net, a wraparound. Horton scores!
Edmonton wins.
Everybody tuning in, even my wife. And those Macronella intros are cutting like a knife.
That is an absolutely pitifully bad call.
Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life.
It is Bouchard scores.
It's like a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin.
McDavid, beautiful move. In on it. What can you say?
Let's see the Curry.
Here they come, the Oilers. It's dropped back. Bookberger shoots, scores! Bookberger! The Oilers win it!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah. 6:04. It's the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart TuneIn radio app, and as always on YouTube. Good morning. Lieutenant Eric here alongside Joaquin Gage, Leather Daddy, and Zach to come behind the monitors again. Good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in. It's set.
I know.
We're here. We've arrived, and thank God, because I was done with that regular season. We were talking yesterday and how it's nice that you've played yourself in a position where the last couple of games don't really matter in terms of qualifying or whatever, and you rest some guys. But
What an exciting last 10 minutes. Like who the Oilers were playing changed 3 times in a span of
hot potato. Who wants them? Who doesn't? Hey,
It was that was kind of exciting. But yeah, I mean it's nice. We just mentioned if you could kind of draw out the path for the Oilers,
yeah.
I think most fans would like this one more than facing the Knights.
We're not scared.
No.
Nobody's going to admit fright. I'm not. I don't think any of you should either. I think there are concerns when certain matchups arise. Some may be more favorable than others. But I think you're right in terms of these two teams. Now there was a narrative of getting revenge, beating the Knights. You beat the Knights now in the opening round. Boy, you're cruising. You're feeling good. You're exercising demons. But I think the general opinion was maybe give us the Kings. Let Vegas and Dallas go at it.
Let everyone else go at it. You look at
Yeah, right. I mean,
then,
arguably the weakest of maybe them all. Nashville's turned it on. They have the goaltending, which I think you could give them the advantage over the Kings there. So that'd be a tougher out perhaps in that area. But
it's usually in the first round, I'm fascinated by all the matchups, but I can't remember a playoff where I was more interested in to see what happens in these matchups in the West. Just it's unfortunate that some of these teams are going to be ousted after a week and a half here. But I've always, when you play and you're in the playoffs, if you're not going to win it, you might as well get bounced in the first because
or make it very difficult for your division rival to carry on. I mean,
exactly.
I'm saying this Kings team, and a little different since the PLD acquisition, but I mean, this is a great rivalry, and they're not going to go down lightly. I wouldn't think, anyways. But have your say, 780-218-9999. It is the Paris Jewelers inbox. It's the bling box. It's the ring box.
It's the ring box. It's the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox. And they got lots of fancy, shiny things. Look at this. Look at that. Not just for the ladies. They got jewelry for men, too. The ring box, the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox.
That is right. 780-218-9999. Weigh in. A lot of people weighing in on your mic volume. I
Yeah,
guess apparently, crank up the leather
You gotta
daddy here.
crank up
Joaquin needs,
let me know if the soothing sounds of Joaquin Gage are hitting the eardrums properly.
Read me a phone book, baby. Nasty chats clicking along as well, but let us know if Gager's volume. You're running the thing. You tell us how we look, how we sound, the whole bit. So please, if anything else is askew, let us know either through the inbox or the nasty chat. It is Paris Jewelers inbox once again, though. $20 to A&W on the line today. It is a Friday, a frisky Friday. The playoff matchups are set, so maybe you got a few hot takes you'd like to text in. Come after A&W. It's the A&W $20 giveaway for text of the day. And we are in the purgatory zone of deals. It is the last day for the $2.79 A&W Buddy Burger. Get some cheese, get some onions on that puppy as well. Why not? I recommend. But make it yours today. $20 to A&W on the line for text of the day. We'll be dishing that out after the show, but get your texts in. Regardless, Oilers playoffs, any other playoff scenarios, or anything else cooking around the world of sports, come after that A&W $20. That'll be on the line. Once again, text of the day today. So this is all set. It's great. I'm loving that the last week was just playing out the string, right? And you're just kind of waiting around, and now we have an opponent. It's all set. We'll be diving into that matchup as well as kind of go around the horn and take a look at the most of the others around the West, certainly, with the playoffs set to go tomorrow with a couple of matchups out east. Things kick off at around 3 o'clock. Carolina hosting the Islanders for Game 1. Boston and Toronto from Beantown. That's a 6 o'clock puck drop. Game 1s of those two Eastern series tomorrow. But we'll have more on the playoff picture leading through the show. Let's get you set for the show as well. Opening hour, we'll do some morning announcements here in a couple minutes. Brought to you by 100.3 The Bear. I was on with McCord and Yukon earlier today, previewing the playoff matchup. You can check them out as well. Bear Boys do a great job, and Jess Jackson takes you home during the afternoon. Morning after show brought to you by emutilitylocating.com, in which myself and Joaquin Gage, well, I don't know how much pouring over last night's game we need to do, but I'll let you decide. I mean, look, you got a handful of the big guns rested, Skinner and Net. I don't know where you come out on that one, but
The thing that saddens me most about last night's game, to tell you the truth, is not getting to hear Jack and Louie anymore. That's
it's over.
That's I actually sent a text to those two.
We don't we get Louie though? Hey?
Still get Louie,
yeah.
but who knows? Who knows? You might not get Louie at a certain point. Sometimes they shuffle things around. I don't know why. I'm partial to those two guys, and I know I don't find them too, lack of a better term, homerish. Mm-hmm. Like Louie's always pretty much right down the pipe. Jack is exuberant, to say the least, which is great. But I think for most people they're the best in the biz.
It's a regional broadcast.
Yeah,
and usually the regional broadcasters are adored by the regional fans, I guess, and that makes sense. But these playoff series are broadcast nationally, and that's just kind of it's not. I don't think there's any emotion or personal preference or bias here in making this decision. It's just a business call. And every year we have to go through the song and dance, and petitions start up, and it's like, well, it's not happening just because that's the business. But we'll be going through that morning after show. Crack Pack as well, brought to you by Wayne's Sports Cards. You can check them out here on the West End. They had celebrating National Hockey Card Day last weekend, in which the Nielson family got to partake. I found this. It's still in the plastic casing. Do we crack it open? I don't know. It's a 22-23 Series 2 box.
Yikes.
I don't know. Do we? It's been sitting around for so long. Nobody's claimed it. Nobody's touched it. I mean, I assume Dusty got it from Wayne's at one point in time, but Do we?
I don't know. Do you touch it or do you sell it to some guy in 20 years?
That's just it. Do we keep it in the plastic or do we rip that puppy open? Let us know. Chime in, nasty chat or the text line. But Crack Pack, we'll be discussing Wayne's at around 6:40. Hour 2 will begin with Craig Button. Couldn't join us Tuesday, so we had the old MJ Flip, Mystic Mike joining us Tuesday. Button will draw in for a Friday morning show brought to you as always by Pro-Am Sports. We'll get his thoughts, weigh-ins, hot takes on the postseason picture as it crystallized last night. Cool Bet Canada Hotline of the Day coming up at around 7:20. Follow that up with I Says Pardon, brought to you by LuraCentral.com. And that's good for the Italian Center. That'll take you through hour 2. Hour 3, you know how it goes on a Friday. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. We'll have your Vegas keyword once again, 8:20 this morning. And if you, there it is. It's right on your left there. Just if you kind of, no, not off the board. The sheet on the.
the sheet.
Yeah. What's the word?
Let me. Oh God, that's.
Hey,
good old AI.
Oh, Matty. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, we're cut up for you today. 8:20, be by your phone. We'll give you the word. You text it in. And then Zach Dickham will randomize the texters and give one of you a lucky call. So be by your phone, 8:20. We'll give you the word. Pretty simple. Text it in, and you could qualify into a draw for a trip to Vegas, courtesy
That's coming up.
YEG.
That's exciting.
Next week, next Friday.
That's amazing.
Time's ticking, but if you can't get in on this show, 4 times daily and on the weekends with Belzy and Gazzola. But after this show, it'll be the Hangout, followed by the Lock Shop, and then followed by Oil Street. 2 guys?
Oil Street
today
yeah.
with Gazzola and Iwanic. They were getting into it the other day, hey? With Kaner, eh?
I love it.
Punching each other?
Yeah, they were, there's strain in that relationship.
Yeah, I'd say so. And they live in the same building. How
I know,
about that, eh?
Yeah. Throwing down in the parking lot.
Give me a Big Brother episode of that.
It's like a real bad play of West Side Story with those two.
Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. We'll wrap things up at around 8:30. Garrett Gallipo will be joining us, the Mix Master. Have you done a Beer of the Week with the old Double G yet?
I was trying to think. I might have way back when, because he was coming to the old place
a couple times, filling in.
Yeah.
But if you know Garrett, he likes to mix his beers, and he just does it on the fly. He's a real wild card.
Didn't he bring in like the Steins at first? Like he was big
he brings
pours.
in the big tumblers.
Big pours. Yeah, I like that.
Look, you picked a good day to fill in for Dusty here today.
There's a method to this madness. I'm here to drink beer and talk sports.
And you got a little treat as well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll save that.
We'll sprinkle that a little bit. Yeah.
So Beer of the Week and $50 to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, always online during that segment. So once again, multiple chances to win your way in through the show this morning. I mean, I'm just kind of doing the quick math. That's over like $100 worth of prizing you could be up for, and you could qualify for a Vegas trip. So great value on the Nielson show this morning. Sans Dustin Nielson, of course. He is with his family, having a much-deserved, well-needed vacation down San Diego way, and that's where the Blue Jays are as well. They'll be kicking off a 3-game set with the Padres tonight, and I do believe the Nielson clan will be attending tomorrow evening's game down in San Diego. So I really hope, eat
Have you
an
been
ice
to
cream and
MLB game?
Mariners. My wife for our honeymoon.
Right.
Best. I had and we saw Kenny Kicks down there. They're playing the Phillies.
Yeah.
He was decked out in his Phillies garb.
Really?
But I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's the only ballpark, one game.
Safeco.
We were in the middle.
Safeco still?
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Okay.
But that middle. We weren't high. We weren't low.
Yeah.
But in that middle mezzanine.
Yeah.
No lines.
Crazy.
Bathrooms empty. I could walk up, get those garlic fries or whatever. It was. Guy behind me was sleeping. It was a classic matinee baseball game. It hit all the notes. So we'll be keeping an eye out for Dustin and his family. I want him eating the ice cream, or you're going to town on the burger.
Yeah.
Look at this guy here.
Just pull out the what is it? 9 beers, 9 hot dogs. Dusty, try to just
topless.
Marshall and the Muzz carrying old Dusty out of there.
It's the middle of the 6th. He's just going. But we'll be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully Dusty and his family are having a real good time down there. I'm sure it is. I haven't heard from him, so I think that's a good.
Yeah, he goes
sign.
dark. Hey?
Well, turn the phone off, man.
Yeah, no.
I know this is his. Get out of here. It'll be fine. Yeah.
I'm sure he might listen, but then Tam might smack the phone out of his hand. Which
good job, Tam.
Good job.
Yes. Yeah. We all need a break sometimes. But let's dive in. Morning announcements real quickly, as I was kind of doing some of them as well. Obviously, the NHL playoff picture last night shaping up. It was the, well, as you mentioned, it kind of went back and forth. The Ducks defeating the Golden Knights 4-1. And then you had the Kings and the Blackhawks going at it, and the Kings emerging victorious in overtime 5-4 over Chicago, which seals the fate of both of those clubs, Vegas and LA. LA drawing the Oilers in the opening round, Vegas hitting it to Big D. Of course, the Oilers rounding out their regular season last night down in Colorado with a 5-1 loss to the Avalanche. A rested Oilers lineup of obviously the big dogs staying in the kennel last night, but Stuart Skinner out in the crease, getting some reps, and I think Colorado needed a bit of something last night, and they're starting the playoffs on the road, which I wouldn't have bet on in my life here. So they wanted to send off their fans' final home game, and I think it laid down a bit of a statement, albeit against a rested Oilers team. I don't want you to read into that, but
you take what you can. They played a really good game. It would have been hard for the Oilers to win that game with the full lineup, right? They would have been a more competitive game, I'm sure, but. McKinnon, kind of cool to see him actually pass Peter Stastny for points in a season by that franchise. Just that's withstood the test of time. We've been talking about this season for years, and all these records being broken, and all these amazing feats by these highly talented offensive players. This is a neat era of the NHL where the skill level is getting to a point where. We could say it's getting back to those 80s kind of early 90s years.
And with the talk of, now, relocation or buying a team. Like, it's not even relocation. This is they're just buying it. They're buying the players, they're buying everything, and they're just, but, in terms of expansion or something like that, I mean, you continue to, quote, water down the league.
I hate it. I hate the talk of adding
But now you're... Like, there would be more openness for seasons like this and players like this to kind of...
Yeah, but, I mean, you still have some bottom feeders. And until you can really... I think the best measure of it is if you're looking at the end of the year and there's teams, maybe they're 5 points out or 6 points out. They just couldn't close, but they're close.
Yep.
If they went on a roll, they could. It comes down to the last few games of the year. That's what you want. I think you're still in a spot where if you add 2 more teams at this point, those teams are not going to be competitive, unlike what you saw with at least Seattle and Vegas, where I think the league was in a really good place where you had very talented players possibly not playing with teams that overseas or not even with their own organization.
But you could be looking at 200-point seasons, 250 points.
I guess,
juice it up, right? Like, here we go.
The juiced ball.
Juiced ball. I know Utah. There were a few. We have more on this later on with ISS Pardon, but a few team names being TM'd yesterday, apparently, regarding that franchise. We'll have more on that coming up with ISS Pardon. But I know it's always fun when there's a new kid on the block, and you can take time to talk about what they're going to look like, what's going to be called, what the helmet color is. The stadium there, it's going to be a low-seater. I think they're going to redevelop a bit moving forward. But, I don't know about some mock-ups of purple and yellow. I don't really anyways, but it's going to be fun to chew on.
It's Ryan Smith, right? He's going to build a new one for the Jazz and like a so, I mean, it's going to be a excellent facility. Just you can only drink one beer at a time.
Absolute. I think Ryan Smith made a tweet yesterday. It was him and his buddy like in a room such as this with 2 IBM computers, how it started, how it's going, and now it's him buying. So he's had a quite a run here to acquire this new franchise from Arizona. But morning announcements, and again, as I mentioned, Jays kicking off. They've been playing pretty good, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees just recently. Once again, down in San Diego to kick off a 3-game weekend set that begins tonight, 7:40. Love those West Coast first pitches. I'm a sucker for that stuff. Give it to me all night long. But Jays, Padres as well. And then looking over to the NBA, the play-in tournament will wrap up later today and tonight. Bulls visiting the Heat. What a treat for the victor. You get to take on the Celtics in the opening round. Kings Pelicans, the winner will go on to face Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder. Playoffs round 1 beginning tomorrow, bright and early, 11 o'clock. Magic visiting the Cavs, and that'll be one of 4 games on the NBA playoff schedule tomorrow. Lakers Nuggets as well, your nightcap. 6:30. Ooh, that'll coincide with Dusty going to the Jays game, so he'll have that phone going, I'm sure, for both of those scores. Other than that, I think Zach will be doing the sports updates this morning. His maiden voyage in the. Let's bring in Zach to him right now. How you doing, man? Yeah, you were out at Hudson's last night for Tommy and the pregame and the watch along party.
Yeah,
Hudson's
I was.
White?
Yeah, it was a good time out there. I mean, showed up a bit early. The game wasn't very pretty to watch. I mean, the first 10 minutes, there was 4 goals scored against the Oilers, but
How many pints of milk did you have?
all of them.
All of them?
Yeah,
Full
they
4
sold
liter.
out in milk. Yeah. I can't believe I'm here today.
A few nasties, though, showing up there last night as well.
Yeah, Rip City Step.
Love it.
Cash was there.
Cash.
Jasmine, VR Montenegro. It was a good time out there. And Norman at Combine bought me some milk. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
some-
His boys are in the
some
house
wet
too,
milk in it.
eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
The full squad.
The full squad. Rip City Step chiming in the nasty chat as well. King's good team to get Kane engaged. Remember him, Evander Kane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's didn't he blow the kisses? Did he? Was that, or is that Vegas?
He
No.
put up number
He put
seven.
up number seven again.
Seven.
Seven.
That was the
Seven.
quote.
Seven.
That's where we get our juice. You know? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the old wood crop. That's where I get my
Yeah,
juice.
so
Good
many
line.
clips from that little mini era there, but
good
well, that's a good point. Maybe that is a. I just like I just like the rivalry here that's developed over the
Yeah,
years.
it's-
I not a from an Oilers or Kings point of view, but just from a neutral. This is fun to watch.
There's certain players as a goalie I watch and I go, ugh, I would hate playing against that guy. And that Adrian Kempe, looking at the goal he scored, like he just went down, grabbed it, shot it, perfect shot. He's an Oiler killer.
Yep.
Oilers have to do something to make sure that limit his time and space.
And it's kind of like I say this too. I mean, every team, look, you're in it, you want to win it. I get that, and we all, sports you. Everybody dreams of getting the cup or whatever. But I don't think the Kings, yeah, you're in the playoffs, but are they a cup contender? I think their cup probably would be to just give the Oilers double, and just
yeah. I mean, they're going to be tough. I think their weak link is their goaltending. Watching Talbot last night let that almost slip through their fingers there was interesting. But we did get the sprint qualifying results if anyone's interested. So
how did old Merck do there? We gotta.
Well, it's very fascinating actually how it ended up for just the sprint race for later today. But Norris takes pole in the sprint with Hamilton on the front row. Alonso Verstappen, Carlos Sainz 3-4-5, Perez 6th, Leclerc, Piastri, Bottas, and Zhou in his home race and getting into Q3 too. So
It's returned to China for 4 years or something?
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
So
So it's very. I didn't see that happening. Looking at watching just free practice 1 did look like the Bulls were dominant. Stroll actually,
Yes?
squeak up to
Our boy.
Yeah, our Canadian boy. Yeah, he actually finished with the fastest lap time in free practice, but although it didn't materialize, finishes in 15th, but with the weight of a nation on his shoulders.
But so that's again China. It's an overnight thing. Are we going to get any? I know you're kicking around post show today. We'll be.
We'll watch
viewing we can have.
We'll watch the sprint qualifying for sure.
I can't wait.
We'll see what happens here
Can't
because it
wait.
looks like it. Judging by the times, I haven't watched it yet. Looks like there was some rain in Q3. So
Getting a little slick. Gumshoe Rob, 780-218-9999. Hudson's on a Thursday, $5 draft night. Such a fun time. Got to agree there, Gumshoe Rob. And Wednesdays as well, the wing deal can't really be beat. I'll say that. Bone in or bone out, whatever you want. And I know Jay Milne in your seat yesterday was talking about those chicken tenders they got at Hudson's. It's pretty much a full breast.
really,
They pound 3 chicken breasts,
Okay.
bread them, and give them to you on a plate. It's amazing. Great deals, great value down at Hudson. So thank you, Gumshoe Rob, for that one. Any other? If you got contra requests, Gager's blowing it this morning. He's got his lips wrapped around that puppy. So if you got a contra request, either for yourself, someone in your life, the Oilers, or anything else, the ending of the regular season, feel free to chime in, 780-218-9999, or in the nasty chat as well. Somebody's birthday here, Ben F. Hey, guys, it's my 35th birthday.
Oh.
Could I get a conch?
oh Ben, here we go.
You
that's
remember
that
your
feels
35? Or?
35.
I don't mean to.
Oh, I was alive in 35.
Yes,
that
yes.
was. I think I was on
European
my last.
man? Or
Yeah, I
was
was.
that
I think I was trolling the slopes in the Dolomite Mountains back then.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Jimbo chimes in. A rivalry with the Kings implies that they have won enough to make it so. So far, it's just Edmonton owning the Kings in the postseason. No, I get that, but they haven't been. It's owning by beating them, but it's been tough series here. The play has been tough, right? I mean, the Kings. They don't really like each other. I know Draisaitl, I don't think really particularly cares. We've heard Kane, and his thoughts on them.
Oh, we've heard Doughty talk too.
Doughty as well.
Even he was to the point where he gets. I love Drew Doughty. He's just a fantastic hockey player. But I love how even last time. Well, what do you think of the he was asked about the rivalry last time in Edmonton. Here he goes. He doesn't even call it a rivalry because they keep beating the snot out of us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
There's some underlying aggression I think you'll see, and it's. We were talking about if you were to make that trade with Winnipeg now, I don't think you would after this year.
We talked off the air. You get the kind of the thought and the idea maybe of rehabilitating a guy's career, and maybe this is the time, and maybe this would be the fit, or maybe this. But it was all as advertised with him all along, was it not? I mean, and now you're seeing the same thing over again, and in the pieces that they gave up and going Winnipeg's way, and now the Jets, seeing what they've done this season and hosting the Avalanche in the opening round, it's a pretty big tell there on how that deal kind of went.
Yeah, Dubois, he's basically had a poopy diaper since that one series in with Columbus where he really dominated, right? And so, but I don't want to light the fire under him, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, we'll probably talk at length about possible line combinations that the Oilers can implement. I think I did say on Two Guys yesterday that I wouldn't be opposed to Leon and Connor being together more in this type of series than it would against the Vegas Golden Knights,
Dallas or whatever.
Because they can key on those matchups a little bit more, and I don't think it would matter who they played in the playoffs. There would be times when obviously they're going to play together, but I think it works out. I like them going up against the Kopitar line. Getting Connor away from Deneau, and I love the kind of the coaching style and see what happens with two guys that weren't there at the beginning of the year.
That's just it too, and that's why this takes a bit of a different. You kind of turn the page slightly in this rivalry, and I use air quotes here, but. No, I mean, Hiller, Knobloch, I mean, this isn't Todd McLellan's team anymore, but I think still kind of set up in that defensive structure. I mean, you change a coach. The Oilers changed the coach. Obviously, the defensive was an issue. Manson, the style they're implementing.
Yeah.
You bring in Coffey, you bring in Knobloch, and that, by committee, you short things up on the defense. But in terms of the Kings, I don't think they've radically kind of changed the style of their play or anything like that. There's still the 1-3-1, the defensive style that shut you down. But without that, the goaltending.
Yeah.
Like if they had not even a true, but like just a better tandem or something like that, you'd kind of maybe see a bit of an evenness there. But
Flipper, Big Save Dave or whatever you want to call him.
He got the shutout earlier in the season, but that was a different time.
Any goalie can have a moment. Trust me, I know. But no, I just after last night and what I've seen and the struggles that they've gone through, you'll probably see both. Yeah, there's a good chance you might see Pickard too at some point in this series too, right?
And that's why they're there.
And that's and I don't have a problem with that. With his play over the past, 4 months, it's been very solid.
I guess it'd be the conversation as to why he would be making an appearance.
Maybe
that's kind of. But you're right. I mean, I think somebody yesterday chimed in the nasty chat. He's no Ty Conklin, and then maybe then that's how you're building here. But 780-218-9999. Spoiler alerts for F1 updates, please. Not caught up yet. Thanks, Red.
Well,
it is a sports show, so we're kind of have to.
It was. I didn't tell you who won the race. It's just how the grid was set up. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, but I
wouldn't tell you if the sprint race happened. I wouldn't tell you the winner. But just kind of interesting. Just if you're going to go back and if you're a glutton like me for F1, I'll watch every second.
All the helmet cams, right down the grid.
Oh, great. The one helmet cam that's really nice is the McLaren, because they have that gyroscope. I think you saw it.
Yeah.
So
That's
you actually get the waviness and how the car.
my
looks.
muscles in my frame got tighter as I was just watching it from that.
It makes you engage the core.
Absolutely. In the morning after show, again, taking a bit of a different shape today. Is there anything else you're pulling out of last night's game at all? I mean, again, the big dogs were not hunting. Skinner and net. I mean, do you, as a goaltender, and again, it's nice that you're in this morning, you're in that position, final game, you get lit up by a team that's trying to prove something to their fans' home ice. I mean, you're not, you file 13 this puppy and just move on, eh?
I like the fact that he kind of got a black eye a little bit,
Okay.
like the fire.
Punch in the nose,
It's
eh?
just you can really do a full reset and maybe just kind of look at the goals afterwards, see what you could have done better. I for the last game of the year, how Stewart was playing this really, you reset anyways at the start of the playoffs. Everyone starts at zero. It's
and
good
they've been
for
playing a
lot
lot of
players.
games here. They got a bit of this is nice. Monday game 1. I mean, you got a couple of days here
to get a little bit of a mean on before. I think that'll suit Stuart Skinner great. I mean, he's a very calm and cool individual by all accounts, but there is that.
There's a restless.
There's an eternal fire.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that he's not upset about that game for sure. So, sets up nicely for Monday.
Move on, and Monday will be game 1 here in Edmonton. Of course, game 2 to follow Wednesday evening, and I would assume 8 o'clock puck drops as per
8:30,
tradition.
9:45.
Holy hell, 11. We've made it. We're here. Playoffs around the garden. Let's 6:32. Lieutenant Eric Joaquin Gage in for Dustin Nielson today, and Zachkin behind the monitors. He's going to have your sports update. Brought to you by Green Plan coming up here. After that, we'll continue on with hour number 1. Perhaps get into a little crack pack. I don't know. Should we open this or not? Chime in, 780-218-9999. Still in the plastic. Do we do it or do we time capsule this puppy? Series 2, 22-23. But get your thoughts in. Got access to a couple clips, too, if you want to hear any songs or something like that. I'd be happy to oblige. But Zatkin with your sports update brought to you by Green Plan.
Round 1 is set with the Oilers meeting the Kings for the 3rd straight year. Vegas and Dallas face off as well after the Golden Knights lost 4-1 against the Ducks. Game 1 for both series start Monday. In Game 81, the Oilers fell 5-1 against the Avs. Holloway scored the lone goal while Broberg and Kulak picked up the assists. Also during play, Nathan MacKinnon notched his 140th point of the season. In Winnipeg, Nikita Chibrikov scored his first career goal to help the Jets double up the Canucks 4-2. The Flames, Ducks, and Kraken also picked up wins. At the end of the season, the Sharks look towards a draft lottery with an over 25% chance for first overall. The Blackhawks, Ducks, and Blue Jackets hold the next highest chances for number 1. The Blue Jays start a 3-game series against the Padres tonight with first pitch at 7:40. The NBA play-in round wraps up tonight when the Heat face the Bulls at 5. The Kings tip off against the Pelicans at 7:30 as well. Over in the PWHL, Toronto lost 2-1 against Boston, while Montreal came out 4-3 against Minnesota for the win. The action continues Saturday when Toronto plays Montreal and Ottawa meets Minnesota. This sports update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you the award-winning environmental planning and consulting services. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
Eyes. You know what? I saw it in his eyes. Eyes. It's fun to watch his eyes. Eyes. And, he narrowed his eyes. He's been a horse. His eyes narrow. I saw it in his eyes. He loves his eyes. Eyes. It's going in the net. horse eyes. People were highly critical of his eyes. His eyes narrow. Eyes. Eyes.
Hungry Eyes, Dallas Aikens remix, 636. You're tuned into EdmontonSportsTalk.com. It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric and Joaquin Gage in for Dustin Nielson this week and a bit of next. And Zach to come behind the monitors. Hey, how about that sports update? You are getting the rave reviews, 5 stars, 2 thumbs up. Great job, Zach. Penner's Pancakes, Rip City Step. Also, Zacticum, the live EST correspondent from the Moss Pit. Hey, can we expect that again?
I think that's something that we're chefing up over here. I think that might be the plan, sending me down there and checking out what's going on during the playoffs. Check back in with Tommy and whatever, but we'll see what happens. There's no full plan yet, but
look for the man in
we're
the
chefing
King's,
something
Look
up.
for the man in the King's sweater, hey?
No Dustin Brown jersey today.
That's Zach Tim again. Sports update. Thank you very much, Zach, for Green Plan. You hit it out of the park. A box pounder. Damn fine job, Zach. But I look forward to you getting out there and mixing and mingling with the Gen Pop, shall we say, down at the Moss Pit.
Well, it'll be
Barbed
something.
wires
It'll be
getting set
something.
up already, hey?
I don't know what's going to go on there. I know it's going to be rowdy though. I know it's going to be rowdy at one point. I remember wearing that Kings jersey.
Yeah.
As for those who don't know, I had to wear that Kings jersey when I lost in fantasy.
Fantasy loser.
It was it was a fantasy loser. It was either that or a dress, and at the time I had long hair, and they wanted me to wear makeup as well. So I'm like, is there anything else I could do? And
Smart move.
I settled with that, and they gave me pity, and it was a fun time. But a couple people weren't too happy. They're throwing empty beer cans at me and
Better than full, maybe.
saying not so nice things. But hey, better than full beers. For sure.
Exactly.
At least with a full beer, you could take it for your own. But
It is like the yard at Shawshank, that place, hey? Sometimes these walls become...
You see one guy walking around on his lonesome, kind of hand in the pocket.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, he's taking his wall out to the yard.
Why do you have a bird in your shirt here, or a mouse,
God.
whatever it is? Well, Zach, we look forward to this. Hey, if I could, maybe I'll even join you one of those nights.
Hey.
Would I be able to come along?
You're always
for the
welcome.
Ride, eh?
Anyone's
Document
always
from afar,
welcome.
maybe 10 feet
Yeah.
away.
yeah.
See,
Where's Zach to come?
A didgeridoo for you and everything you went through last year, and good luck in the Moss Pit this year. Zacticum is my guy, Barry the Cheeto says. So good job. Good job and all that. Conch requests as well if you want. Get him in, 780-218-9999. Gagers on the conch this morning. I think even just taking a quick look, I know it's a sports show and a sports station, but I think the weather's turning here, boys, as well. Cool week. We can expect a high of 5 under sunny skies today, 12 for Saturday, 11 Sunday, and 16 degrees and sunshine for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So,
That
baby,
deserves a conch.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we're here.
There
we are
we
here.
go.
So, Zach, you can maybe get out those Daisy Dukes and show off those white salamis down there. It's going to be
yeah.
great. This is the playoffs, right? Short season, and it's a little...
Burks and shorts. I think.
Sunshine up, 8:30 puck drop. Who cares? Sun's still... It's like, here we go, right?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I'm happy for the local establishments too. Probably getting geared up. I know Hudson's is going to be a lot of fun with Tommy. I told the story on the Hangout yesterday of going down after in 06, and we talk about it too much, I know, but getting down and seeing the mayhem down there, that's a lot of fun. Just everyone be responsible, have fun, don't hurt each other. That's
all on the same team, right? Yeah. Like that's kind of in the end. But the
peace and love, like
peace
Ringo.
And love. The GCL Diesel pre and post game shows with Tom Gazzola once again at Hudson's during the playoffs. You can go down there and pop by and see him. I know he had some good times at some other establishments as well over the past couple of playoff seasons. So it's always fun with Tommy, and you can best bet that we'll be down there for a couple as well. I do believe Game 1 Monday night we'll be down. West Edmonton Mall, I think, would be the place since he was on White.
Game 1 and 2 both at Bourbon Street.
Oh,
yep.
yes. So 1 and 2, I don't think I'll be with you down on the moss pit. I'll probably be at the old Wem Bourbon, sucking back a few of those Balehouse ales, if you know what I mean. Eh? Not a bad drink at all. But make your plans if you're not going to Rogers Place or Moss Pit. Come hang out with the EST crew as we'll be at Hudson's throughout the playoffs, keeping our good pal Tommy company. 6:41. I don't know. Is it a trap?
It is a trap.
I feel like it's a trap.
Yeah.
But
Might as well. Let's do it.
What? Right? It's for
Friday.
the sponsor. It's for the sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for Wayne's.
Yeah, exactly. You're
I
welcome,
don't
Wayne.
think it's too,
My daughter's really pumped about the watch parties. Said she loves the watch parties for the away games. So,
Keep it coming down?
yeah, I think she'll venture in there. That'll be fun with her friends.
Hobby Box, Upper Deck 22-23 Series 2. Dusty, I'm sorry if this has any... whatever. Just rip it off here, right? Like, you can't be fooling around here.
No, that's... I haven't cracked a pack in a long time.
Well, this is great. I'd like to just watch you crack the whole box. So Zach will give you a couple as well for that outstanding sports update and sacrificing your body here for the cause.
My gosh.
Take a couple of OVs there, baby. That's...
How about Ovi just going nuts these last few?
Dragging him in, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach, have a grab there. Once again, it's the Crack Pack, courtesy Wayne's. You can check them out here on the West End, Edmonton. Wayne's Sports Cards, great place to go. Great staff as well, and it's not just cards. Lots of cool collectibles, the Legos and all of that. Pogs even. You can get your Keenies or Slammers if you're familiar with that terminology. But head down to Wade's Sports Cards and Collectibles, West End, 17020 90 Avenue Northwest. It's just in the same mini mall, strip mall as Italian Center. So get a sandwich, get some pastries, pop into Wayne's, and make it a good little afternoon. They're open at 11 this morning. What are we looking at here, boys? What do we got? Any big hits here?
I did. I got Nick Paul from the Lightning. I like him.
Okay.
Pavelski, the Ageless Wonder. Got a Nick Dowd, who I think they wanted to see in an Oilers.
That was a name that was popping up.
We also got a young gun, Jake Sanderson.
Ooh,
very nice.
that's not a bad one.
Yeah, played with his dad back in junior a little bit. Rasmus Dahlin.
Rasmus Dahlin.
I like him, and of course, Sidney Crosby. Come on.
Oh,
That's
kid.
a good pack.
That's
The
a good
kid.
one. Josh Anderson, always
okay.
rumors. I think
Yeah.
Stoff wanted him at one
He
point.
did.
And Seth Jones in that first pack. That's a good pack.
Clark for
That
Calder,
is a good
Brant
pack.
Clark, L.A. King, and Jordan Eberle from your Seattle Kraken. What do you got over there, Zach? You pull any?
I got
big fish?
Jacob Chitrin.
Yep.
Alexander Barbanoff. Robert Banoff. Jakob Trenin. And then a Welcome to Carolina card. Sam Reinhart.
Oh.
Paul Byron. Derek Grant. And Evander Kane.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is, I've never seen a
do one
card
more
like
here.
this. This is a.
Oh, yeah, got a nice.
a material card. I think.
yeah,
this
the
is
jersey, the
this is
insert.
like Trump's suit. It's a piece of his jersey. A rookie, Jacob Perreault. So
That's the big one there, baby. That's a good pull. Look at that, and it's just black. Hey, it's not even the advertisement
No,
patch.
no.
Yeah, it's best when you get the sponsorship on there.
who
Let's
knows?
see.
This could be a sock.
Well, we can keep going there too.
Uh,
Maurice Sider, Travis Hamanuk, Arthur Kaliev. Oh, the instant impressions, John Tavares, and it's like a little photograph. Like, look at that, an instant developed. That's a pretty
nice,
cool
yeah.
card. I like that.
Yeah.
Trevor Zegras, Mr. Misunderstood, Mark Giordano, Eli Tolvanen, Seth Jarvis. These are nice cards. It's nice to. It's nice cracking with you boys. This is a good one. I like that.
Old John Gibson, the Denny Lemieux of the NHL.
This is all Oilers rumors acquisitions. Hey, all these packs. It seems we're getting one.
Jake Ottinger, Philip Churtle, Dougie Hamilton, only his mother calls him Doug, and TJ Brody. That's got to be weird. Hey, Dougie. It's all even on the card. It's Dougie.
Need more Douglases, you'd think. Like
Yeah.
Douglas Hamilton.
I wonder what
Douglas
his
P.
teammates-
Hamilton.
Do the teammates call him? They probably call him Hammy, right? Hammer.
It's got to be the hammer.
The
yeah,
hammer,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Take Hammy though. Yeah.
I got Kevin Shattenkirk. Alexander Carrier.
Another one.
Brandon Montour. Mikko Rantanen. Any young guns? Adam Huska. William Eklund. Giannis Moser. And Blackhawks legend Mackenzie Entwistle.
Very nice.
Very
Is it signed?
No, unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately
That's
not.
good.
That's good. Hey, and again, it's Crack Pack, Wayne's Sports Cards and Collectibles. Once again, check them out. 17020 90th Ave here in Edmonton. Same strip mall as the Italian Center. Get a sandwich, get some cards, and have yourself a good day. 780-218-9999 is the number to text. Hey, guys, can I get a conch for the Black Gold 47s 15U AA white baseball team that's fundraising by selling Krispy Kreme donuts today outside the Rexall in Leduc for their upcoming tournament? Comes in from Mark the Sparky. Might have to a post-show trip out to Leduc then. Krispy Kreme, you had me at that. But good luck there with the selling of the donuts and the fundraising later today down in Leduc. Vaughn Thompson, give me some Cracticum. That can be you when you Sports Updateicum, Cracticum during the Crack Pack. So you can kind of have your name. I know that people were saying maybe change your name, but I just like whatever
It'll
you're
come
doing.
one day.
Yeah,
It'll come one day. If there is a name change, technically I'm still on Practicum. Monday is my first official day,
Is that right, eh?
so I'm still Zacticum. I'm still Zacticum.
Yeah, that's good. That's a neat handled name change. That's
Yeah, but he can kind of morph to whatever he's doing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
now I'm bathroom to come. Or now I'm going home to come. I'm, whatever it is. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and hit the sub. I said yesterday I ain't going to be out here begging. I feel kind of dirty, but give us a like. I know as YouTube Chef said he'll do the begging. Jay Milne didn't mind doing begging. Are you feeling like begging today, Zacticum? Do you want to do a little begging on the YouTube?
Well, I know I don't like begging, but I know something that does deserve a like. During the playoffs and starting Monday, I believe it was, the 6 o'clocker lager is on sale. $12.99 for a 4-pack?
My man.
Are you kidding me? Come
My
on.
man.
That deserves a like.
Give it a like.
Come on.
Give him a conch, too. I'd say, why not? Yeah.
I've just been mulling over the new handles for Zactimum. If you have some ideas, send them into the nasty chat or 780-218-9999. I just over, I think it was 2 times ago in here, Vacticum because of the vacuum skills.
Absolutely.
We can look at a few.
Box
others.
Pounder says he still likes the nickname Prozac, which I don't mind either. Great band, and yeah. 780-218-9999 if you got any ideas for him name-wise or get in the nasty chat. And good point on the beer there, Zach, because we will be having Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. Garrett Gallipo later, and he'll have more on this, but it cannot be stopped, the 6 o'clocker lager. It's a hot seller, and we've said it before during the not so traditional beer drinking months of the year. So we're heading into a good spot. As I said, 16 degrees Monday for game 1. You best bet, I think, stock up. I know a few people had a couple flats they were tweeting at me last night. But a killer deal for just a killer beer.
Well, it's not only just for like playoffs. I'm looking at and I don't know how I'm privy to a lot of extra information running the halls of Edmonton Sports Talk. But there's some cool things happening this summer, I think, with the 6 o'clocker lager, which is very exciting.
You overheard one of the
Yeah,
got you pretty
I
excited
did.
there
I did,
yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have more on that to come as the weeks and the months roll on here at EST. But yeah, good job, Zach. The deal again: $12.99 for a 4-pack 6 o'clocker lagers at all your Sobeys and Safeway liquor locations. Now until I do believe June, I think loose date somewhere in June. So got a couple months to take advantage of this outstanding deal. And as mentioned, an outstanding beer brewed by an outstanding brewer, our friends at Alley Cat Brewery. So take advantage of that. Stock up today. Get yourself set for the weekend Stanley Cup playoffs. Leading up to game 1 on Monday. Dusty is away. I do, I kind of joked. I've been telling people he moved to Calgary to start Calgary Sports Talk here. He's kind of expanding the realm. But no, Dusty on a family vacation, so he'll be back mid next week, either a Wednesday, maybe a Thursday, somewhere along there. But until then, it'll be Joaquin Gage and Jay Milne coming in and splitting the duties. So we'll carry you through as best as we can and get you set for Oilers and Kings. Once again, game 1 Monday, game 2 Wednesday, right here in Edmonton, and nice puck drops of the 8:30 variety. So we'll discuss on that as the morning goes on. Once again, Craig Button for Pro-Am Sports will be joining us just after 7 o'clock. Coolbet Canada hotline of the day. I says pardon, that's good. Trivia, 3 questions too many. Vegas keyword coming up at 8:20, all before Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. Anything else jumping off the page in terms of the Stanley Cup playoffs? I know, out here in the West, a few locally here, the Oilers and who their opponents were, but a few of the others were decided the other night. So anything bound, I know the Battle of Florida, you got the Bruins, Leafs, those things. I mean, Islanders, Hurricanes, maybe develop a bit of a rivalry there as well postseason. But anything else standing out to you or going, whoa, I got to keep an eye on this, or whoa, how did this happen or occur?
Well, first, I think I'm fascinated to see how the Leafs do. I think everyone's going to keep an eye on that series. Boston, last year with complete disappointment after the first round. And, Austin Matthews, I said it yesterday, kind of, a failure this season, not reaching 70 goals. And
69. That's not a round number at all.
It's a great number to finish at, actually. So, but no, I'm looking forward to that series. The Islanders Hurricanes, with the additions that they made now, and having Svechnikov's just a whale of a player. Gensel
what an
now.
acquisition.
So yeah, with Kuznetsov is. I wonder if that has put them. There was always talk they don't have that superstar. I always thought that Sebastian
it was
Aho.
a team by
yeah.
They're all the same and they all go out there. And
no one individual wins the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
It's a group effort. So that was one team I always thought that didn't need a superstar, but now they've added some pretty important pieces. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. But it's hard not to. How do you not cheer for Ovi? Just a complete underdog.
It's like of all those teams champing at the bit to get in there too. I think I fell in love with the Red Wings, like most people did.
Yeah.
If you got no dog in the fight, you're like, the Octopuses were flying. They were winning games late. You're like, this is the team you want in there. Some good young talent and. But it's Ovi, the old head, and Sid just coming up short there too, dragging his team in. And then the Flyers, which again I think NHL fans unite in unison saying thank God that they, after spending the season in that third spot, and just kind of sitting around, mulling around, and then when it matters, fading from the picture. But glad they're not in it. You can pack away Torts. See you later, buddy. But I do have some time, though, for Patty Waugh's Islanders a bit. I think it's a great story, fascinating story. They claim that third spot. They're not a wild card team. They get in. But Carolina's a big test. Out here in the you kind of sleep on a lot of those teams. It's out east. You're watching me pay attention, but you don't pay full attention. It's not the Pacific. It's not the West. But the Carolinas, the Rangers President's Trophy, Boston's always like the Florida, like that conference. It's a hellscape, the heavy hitters.
It's amazing. It's funny you mentioned Torts. Like for a guy that constantly says he doesn't like the media, or he sure brings a lot of attention to himself. But like I am hesitant to think he doesn't like attention because there's always something with this guy. Even to the last game where he doesn't. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, but. We only worry about ourselves, and then he's not scoreboard watching in that type of scenario.
Get the man an iPad for crying out loud. Right? Like he's looking up at the thing.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Torts.
But it's a symbiotic relationship. Torts doesn't exist without the hockey media, and the hockey media, cashes checks off Torts quotes. It's a beautiful relationship. And we'll always have the video of here when Tortorella was here, I do believe, coaching the Rangers, and a young Matthew Iwanek.
Oh, yeah.
Getting pushed aside almost by he was in the way and Torts was leaving or showing up. We'll have to dig up that video for you later. But Matt's just standing, and then Torts is going off. But media love Torts. That comes in from Nas26 on the Nasty Chat. Yeah, that's, as I said, symbiotic relationship. Bravo for the use of champing at the bit. Rangers will easily win in 5 games. Nas 26 as well. Are you subscribes to any sort of President's Trophy curse or voodoo
well,
or
that's the thing.
lackadaisical approach to the opening round?
I never liked the coasting into the playoffs, depending on your first opponent. So now you get the Rangers who've been coasting, essentially playing for the President's Trophy, which. It's a feather in the cap, I guess, but that hat's in the back of the closet.
Yeah.
you get a Capitals team that's been hungry and scratching and basically a junkyard dog for the past month to get up to speed. And I mean, the Rangers are a very, very good hockey team. But it's going to be difficult to match the intensity level that the Washington Capitals have in that first period. It's going to be an eye opener. They'll get there, I think, because they've been there. They have some experience, older players. But yeah, it's
littered with it's a great team.
It's
the
a
Rangers.
great
the goaltending, the whole bit, for sure.
And that we talk about Sebastian Aho. Mika Zibanejad is not only is he a fantastic DJ, but he's also a whale of a hockey player too. So
that's spine though too.
Yeah,
Zibanejad, Trocheck, Wenberg, Goodrow. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Blue line ain't sleeping on that. Goaltending killer. But opening round, stub a toe. Big Bad Bruins last year, right? All that talk and
it's there's a curse to the President's Trophy a little bit, I think. So
this question for you comes in from Bad Andy Gager. Any concern that the Oilers lost 4 of their last 5 games heading into the playoffs? And this goes off here because it's a fine line and it's situational, right? I mean, who cares in the end? Yes, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, you're there, but what's the room feel? And it depends, I guess, on the guys in there. How fast can you kind of recycle results and move on, or do you subconsciously maybe stew on it for some time?
You look at the two teams that they were going to play. It seemed everyone was just waiting for game 83. So And
these last 2 games are quite unfair because you look at the Arizona game. That's their final game.
Yeah.
So that's their night.
Yeah.
Last night, the Avalanche had to do a little
They've
something.
been off since Sunday.
It's their last home game. They're starting on the road, so they had to prove. So those 2 back-to-backs, and before those back-to-backs, I mean, it was still a scheduled crunch. So this last run-in was a little bumpy and a little tough.
Well, the Oilers did that thing against the Sharks too. Like that. It was it. I know. I don't think it's a bad thing because I hated these games where everyone talks about 65%. That's when something bad happens.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, was it 2 weeks ago, Hyman got a shot off the foot, and I'm just like, come on. And then, McDavid gets injured. I'm like, geez, just wrap these guys in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
But
playing half speed, either don't or do.
It makes no sense. And just now the Kings, who've basically known they've been in the playoffs for a long period of time here, I don't think it matters at all.
780-218-9999. If you have any more questions for Gage, I mean, he's been around. He would have the a guy in the room. He's been there, knows the code front to back. So if you have any more playoff questions for him, specifically maybe in the goaltending realm or otherwise, 780-218-9999 is the number you can text the Paris Jewelers inbox or via the nasty chat. Jerry Borch says Oilers playing lazy. I don't know if I would use that term. Again, the Sharks game I think too was good on them for running it up. I would say you need to kind of, much like Skinner getting a bit of a punch, you need to juice yourself up a bit too.
Yeah.
Beat the heavy bag. Why not? Give yourself a bit of a go and put some dents in that thing. Why not? But again, I think these last 2 games were a little unfair. Not so much that the schedule maker had the idea of it when he was concocting the thing, but it was just situational. Arizona's final game, Colorado at home. They want to, so whatever.
Yeah, finishing back to back. That's I maybe it would have been exciting in different circumstances. So, but I didn't like the end of the season like that. Everyone should have everyone finish on the same day. I think have a few days, start on the weekend. That's how it should be. Maybe end on a Tuesday. I don't know why they couldn't. Obviously, there's scheduling issues that you have to deal with, but just didn't make sense.
Not only at this time of the year, the NHL schedule is a precarious one throughout the season. Some nights, hey, there's no NBA games tonight. Oh, what's going on? Oh, no NHL. Okay, well, that's good. 6:59, Nielson Show, Edmonton Sports Talk. You can check us out at edmontonsportstalk.com. Of course, broadcasting live, iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and on YouTube. Hit the sub, hit the like. Got a good remainder of the show coming up, 2 hours. But before that, Craig Button from TSN on the way next. And ahead of him, though, a sports update from Zach Dickham. And he'll have that for you right now. Take it away, Zach.
First round of the playoffs start Monday for the Oilers, where they'll meet against the Kings for a 3rd straight year. After losing 4-1 against the Ducks, Golden Knights will play the Dallas Stars. Game 1 for both series starts Monday. In the final game before playoffs, the Oilers lose 5-1 against the Avs. Holloway potted the goal while Broberg and Kulak got the assists. For the Jets, Nikita Chibrikov scored his first career goal to help get the win over the Canucks for a final score of 4-2. The Flames, Ducks, and Kraken also pick up wins to close out the season. Looking towards the draft lottery, the Sharks have over a 25% chance for first overall. The Blackhawks, Ducks, and Blue Jackets hold the next highest chances for the top pick. Tonight in the MLB, the Blue Jays have first pitch at 7:40 to start a 3-game series against the Padres. NBA play-in round wraps up tonight when the Heat face the Bulls at 5 and the Kings tip off against the Pelicans. In PWHL action, Toronto lost 2-1 against Boston, while Montreal beat Minnesota 4-3. Play continues Saturday when Toronto meets Montreal and Ottawa meets Minnesota. Jake Paul has offered former UFC fighters Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz $10 million to fight in a mixed martial arts event. Paul is 9-1 in boxing and will set up in the ring against Mike Tyson on July 20th. Sports update brought to you by the Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road. Your home for all Oilers playoff action. Don't miss a minute of the Cup run. Catch all the action at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
Edmonton Sports Talk. You're listening to the Nielson Show here. Dustin Nielson away on a family vacay. Lieutenant Eric alongside Joaquin Gage this morning, and Zach Tickham behind the monitors doing a bang-up job in the sports updates and everything else. Keeping us on the air and broadcasting live here from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. You can check them out today. It's always hot and spicy in this studio, much like their chicken, their sandwiches, their poutines, everything else, including the flounder sandwich, which... an LTE choice, I must say. Delicious. So head down to Popeyes today. Make them part of your game day meals. And we'll have more on the Oilers throughout the show, basically. I mean, it's heavy hockey now. It's playoffs. Stanley Cup playoffs are here. We're finally done with that wretched end to the regular season in which people were getting highly impatient. But have your say, 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox on the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Oilers drawing the Kings, or anything else on your mind, or, of course, in the nasty chat as well. We got Craig, he's... I
think he's reloading.
He's reloading. Okay, but he is there. Hey, he's.
I saw him.
He
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never know where he is. He's always kind of a man of mystery in terms of his locales and what he's wearing and where he's at.
Can't wait. What so he does a lot of the playoffs. He does world championships sometimes too, doesn't he? Or
he's a man about town in the hockey world. I mean, it's age groups, European, the whole bit.
I didn't run into him, but it was years ago. I was down in Banff and I saw him stroll across the street, and I wanted to go say hi, but I chickened out.
He's probably thinking the same thing.
No,
I saw
Joaquin
Gage watching me walk across the street.
I don't think so. I should have just went and tackled him, but no, it was he looked great. He had he looked very that kind of Patagonia North Face kind of ensemble.
You say that's a pickleball player. that is a pickleball player right there.
That is a fantastic hiker/pickleball player. Yeah.
He's moving the camera around. I love it. I wish we could have the camera of Craig Button before he joins us. That's kind of the it's like us sitting in the drop cams around here at the studio. But Craig Button, TSN hockey insider and analyst. He will be brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. You can find them just north of the Yellowhead, St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or check them out easy as you will online, proamsports.ca. Great website up there. Great deals, and I'm sure they'll have some things for you in the playoffs like you, Joaquin. They are sports nerds and AM nasties too. So check them out today, Pro-Am Sports.
Fantastic.
And I do believe Craig's getting ready here. He's good to go. Wow, let's bring him in. He'll be good. He's a pro. He'll be Craig, how you doing today? Happy Friday morning. Thanks for flexing in and out with MJ and joining us on a Friday, man.
No problem. It's important to be able to flex through the lineup. I like flex players that can do that in the NHL, so I'm happy to join the club. And Joaquin, I think that my wife works for the Canadian Olympic Committee. I'm going to suggest a new sport. You hike, and then you got to hike up the mountain, and at the top of the mountain, you play pickleball.
Oh, gosh.
It could be an Olympic sport.
Yeah, that's, I'd need a little bit of O2 on the back, I think.
A couple of tanks, eh?
At least a couple.
Craig, it's all over. The regular season is done. Finally, thank God, in these parts. We were kind of waiting and playing. Again, those last two games, Coyotes and Avalanche, a little unfair for the Oilers. You're kind of party crashers in both. The Arizona Coyotes, of course, being acquired by Ryan Smith, going to Utah. Emotional night down there at Mullet. And then you wrap things up against an Avalanche team where you're sitting a lot of your stars, obviously, but the Avalanche, a little something to prove for their home fans before they begin the Stanley Cup playoffs, odd as it sounds, on the road in Winnipeg. But just your general thoughts last night. Of course, Oilers drawing the Kings now. Kings with that overtime win and the Vegas loss to the Ducks. But what do you like about this matchup? And I guess, obviously, Vegas now drawing Dallas in the Western Conference kind of as a whole.
Okay, well, let's start with Edmonton. I mean, you're right, the last two games. I mean, I think the game in Arizona, you go in there, you're just trying to – it felt like an exhibition game. It felt like a preseason game for the Edmonton Oilers. Arizona, they're going to play in front of their fans, no big deal. Edmonton wants to make sure they just get out of there unscathed. They go into Colorado, they sit out a handful of their best players. I don't know what you think about this, Joaquin, but I was really surprised when I saw Stuart Skinner starting that game, knowing that they had a handful of players out. But, you can weigh in on that in a second. The Oilers have played the Los Angeles Kings, familiarity certainly with the way the Los Angeles Kings play. And I believe that the Edmonton Oilers know how to play against them with respect to a really good, strong defensive play by LA. But I just don't see the LA Kings being able to beat the Edmonton Oilers 4 times. Will it be a sweep? No. But I could see the series ending in 5. I really could. But if you put my feet to the fire, the easy answer would be 6. But Edmonton's so much better in all the areas, in my view. And the LA Kings, I guess they had a part of the season where they looked really serious, and I think their season will be coming to an end here in the next 10, 12 days.
So, Craig, when I'd ask you to put on your GM chapeau at this point, the end of last season, the Kings, Drew Doughty, a few of the Kings players saying all roads lead through Edmonton. You saw that the moves they made to bring in Dubois. Now you get what you wanted, a chance of redemption against the team that put you out for the Kings. But it just, Eric and I were talking before, I don't think that trade gets made at this point this year with the players that they lost. I thought they were better suited to go up against the Oilers with those young guys. As a GM at the beginning of the year, you must be looking at, okay, how do I beat the Edmonton Oilers? But it just seems like even now, the matchups, although on paper, looking at down the middle, they've got those 3 really good centers. I just don't think they match up as well as they thought they would be back in September.
I totally agree with you, Joaquin. And, Drew Doughty's right. The all roads lead through Edmonton, and all exits in the playoffs lead through Edmonton, too, for the LA Kings. So that's the way I look at it. I don't think anybody could disagree with me. Pierre-Luc Dubois, he has been, when we talk about disappointing play, I'm watching the game last night, and I'm watching the game go on, and you would have thought that they were 40 points out of the playoffs, and he was just kind of going through the scenario of just finished. He has been awful there. He has been awful. And I think if Rob Blake had to do that trade over again, he would say, no, redo, please not, because as much as it hasn't benefited the LA Kings, it's benefited the Winnipeg Jets hugely. The Winnipeg Jets are a deep team. They're a team that can come at you with four lines. They're big, they're strong, they're fast. So when I look at the LA Kings, Drew Doughty knows what good teams look like. He knows what championship teams look like, and I think he's absolutely right. And it's nice, but I don't think there's any redemption for the LA Kings because I don't think they're good enough. I don't. Do they play? Can they be competitive? Yeah, they're going to be competitive. Yeah, they're going to commit to playing the way they play defense. But they don't have. I don't think they have any type of offense that can get the Edmonton Oilers uncomfortable. And if you want to beat the Edmonton Oilers, you got to find a way to get them uncomfortable. And I don't see how they can do it. And the fact is that the Oilers have played the Kings twice in the previous two playoffs. They know exactly what they're facing. They know exactly what the pregame meal is going to be in Game 3 in LA. They know what the flight patterns are. They know everything. And
they know where Will Ferrell sits, for crying out loud. Ferrell's seat. They know the number in the row and the whole.
Yeah, they do it. They, like Connor should go over and sign his hat or something. Tell him, hey, listen, I'm sure you have some really famous signatures. Here's mine.
TSN's Craig Button with us on the show this morning, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Craig, I just wanted to two teams again, and we're going to look at this series through a big microscope here. But two teams going through coaching changes this season, obviously with the Oilers, and we talk about it pre-Knobloch, post the Knobloch hiring, or Woodcroft, or however you want to phrase it. But I think we know on this team there's a defensive structure and a system, and that was changed. But what can you tell us about the Kings in terms of pre-McClellan, post-McClellan there, and the Hiller takeover? I mean, is this a team that's morphed or changed or switched a few knobs or anything? Or is this basically just, again, the same team that we know, the 1-3-1, the defensive style, I mean, and just a different head at the top overseeing the bench?
Yeah, I think you've literally hit the nail on the head, Eric. And even when Jim Hiller took over, he said, I want to try to get the players' confidence back. I want to get them feeling good about the way we play and where we had success. So I don't think they were looking for material changes. I mean, the team had played so well. In the case of the Edmonton, they were on a downhill slide. I mean, the coaching change became necessary, and I'm not saying that it wasn't necessary because of the way the LA Kings were struggling. But as Jim said at the time when he took over, confidence, rebuilding the team's confidence in how we play and trying to get back to that. I think Jim believed in that. I think Jim thought that was their best path. So they righted themselves, and as recently as 2.5 weeks ago, there was no guarantee that the LA Kings were going to make the playoffs. So I think it served the purpose of trying to jolt the team, and sometimes that's what a coaching change does. And Chris changed the way the team approached its business. And I think what Jim came in and did was help the team approach their business with a little bit more assuredness. And different changes require different approaches and looking for different outcomes. And I still don't see the LA Kings as a team that is deep enough, strong enough, can challenge you. Can they win? Yeah. Here's what I would say the formula for them to win is that Cam Talbot plays absolutely at a level so brilliant, and the Edmonton Oilers level falls way off. That's the formula, I think, for the LA Kings beating the Edmonton Oilers. And, when you have a team that's playing as well as the Oilers are, I just don't see areas where you need a strength in a certain area of your game. And I don't think the LA Kings have that to unsettle the Edmonton Oilers.
Craig, with the way that the Vegas Golden Knights kind of limping into the playoffs over the past few months, really, there's talk about a lot of these players coming back and them getting ready for the first round. But I look at the Western Conference on a whole. The big three-prong monster is the Vancouver Canucks. They play at a high speed and execute at a very high level. You mentioned the Winnipeg Jets. I kind of, with their depth, I think that Dallas their depth outweighs even the Jets at this point. And then you have to look at the Oilers. What matchup intrigues you most, maybe going into that second round, if things go to the course that we kind of assume they are? And who do you think's the favorite in the conference final?
Well, today on TSN, we do a thing called bracketology. They've renamed it buttonology. So I tried to make a pitch that I would only do the first round because you can have a lot more confidence about picking the first round. After the first round, what's happened, who's injured, like all the things that go with it, right? So, but they're forcing me to pick it all the way through. So I'll have some fun with it. But I'll share my pick with you in the Western Conference. I have a Dallas-Edmonton Western Conference final. I think that Dallas. I think Winnipeg's a really good team. Could they be there? Yeah, they could be. I think it's close enough. But I am going to have Dallas and Edmonton in the Western Conference final. I think Edmonton is better than the Los Angeles Kings. And when I look at Vancouver's a good team, and there's no question about it. It's not easy to get to the Western Conference final, but I think the Edmonton Oilers are poised to do that. I agree with you about Dallas. Dallas is a really, really good team. The other thing I will add, and you just mentioned it, the Vegas Golden Knights started out this season 11-0-1. So I'm just gonna put this into context for you. In the time after that 11-0-1 start, after 12 games, in their next 70 games, they played 5 games over 500. Juxtapose that to the Calgary Flames, who are nowhere close to being a contender. After they started out 2-7-1, they played 4 games over 500. I have no chips in on the Vegas Golden Knights, none. And if they were playing with the Edmonton Oilers, I think they would get dusted. I think they're going to get dusted by the Dallas Stars as well.
Just like that long-form text that you sent us, Craig, which I really appreciate. You had the numbers. You said you're not answering the door when they knock. So I love that you're still sticking with that. Just transitioning now to the East, I guess, and some tantalizing matchups as well. We cannot forget action starts tomorrow with a pair of games, Hurricanes, Islanders. Then the big one, the nation's eyes will be glued to this, Bruins and Maple Leafs. But, of course, a Battle of Florida as well Sunday. But what's jumping off your page, and any surprises or thoughts on the East as it stands right now in the opening round?
Well, I'll try to go through the one part. The New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes, I think they can already start making plans for their hotels in the second round of the playoffs. I think it's pretty much, how it's going to look. Like, where does the Rangers want to stay in Raleigh? Where do the Carolinas want to stay in New York City? I just don't see the Islanders or the Washington Capitals posing any type of significant challenge. So now we swing to the Atlantic Division. Tampa Bay and Florida is tantalizing, as you mentioned. It's a battle of Florida. There's rivalries. I really like Florida's healthy again. They're playing well. The Tampa Bay's playing. I can see this going 7 games. Bobrovsky's playing well. Vasilevsky's found his game. It's a great matchup, and you think about the Stanley Cup finalists last year, 3-time Stanley Cup final team, winning it twice in Tampa Bay. I think Florida's just a little bit too strong. I think they're a little bit deeper. I think they've got a little bit more throughout their lineup. Now we go to the juicy one, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. It feels a little bit different this year, but as I shared with you last week about the Vegas Golden Knights, and you might be surprised here when I tell you this. The Boston Bruins have had excellent goaltending this year. That's not the surprising part. Their defensive play, the metrics that comprise defensive play, it's worse than the Toronto Maple Leafs. So they have needed their goaltenders to save their bacon, literally save their bacon. So when I talk about defensive metrics, I'm talking about slot shots, inner slot shots, high danger chances, forecheck chances, cycle. And so the Toronto Maple Leafs are a middling defensive team in the National Hockey League. So think about the Boston Bruins not being as good as Toronto in that regard. And now the Toronto Maple Leafs have some offensive firepower. We know about Matthews and Nylander and Marner, but I think they got more scoring throughout their lineup. And it's one thing when you got to go through a layer of defense and then try to get to a really good goaltender. They don't have to go through a really good layer of defensive play. I think that's the area where Toronto can really take advantage. So when I look at it, I look at the setup. I think that Toronto's better set up with their offensive capabilities. And because of Boston's, what I would call, very pedestrian defensive play, they have to get to the goaltenders, and I think they have the offense that could do it this year. I'm picking Toronto to beat Boston.
Well, one more for you here, Greg. I've wondered about the Carolina Hurricanes, and there's always been talk, and better than anyone. That it's not the best player that wins the Stanley Cup; it's the best team. And I've always thought Sebastian Aho is a superstar in this league, a fantastic player. But does the addition of Gensel and Kuznetsov actually push the needle for the Carolina Hurricanes? What you mentioned, the collision course they are with the Rangers, is that enough to get them past that stacked Rangers lineup?
I think it is, Joaquin, and I 100% agree with you about Sebastian Aho. He is the understated superstar in the National Hockey League, playing in Carolina. He just goes about and he's superb in every area of the game. I was on XM Radio yesterday and we had Brett Pesce on, and Brett Pesce was talking about Gensel and Kuznetsov coming over, and he said they fit in seamlessly. They really, really have the way Rod Brindamore wants to coach and the way the team wants to play. They said they are full on board. And Brett says they give us things that make us that much stronger. And, last year they lost Svechnikov with the knee injury. So, that's a factor that comes back in. They had added, and they'd lost Pacioretty too. They tried to address some of the size and scoring, and then they lost Pacioretty, and then they lose Svechnikov. Brett Burns is a really good defender. I talked about Pesce, but Gensel has gone in there and he's been great. And Kuznetsov has been through it. I think the fact that they both won and been through the grind, I think it'll really help them. It's a good team. And what I love about the Carolina Hurricanes is they force you to play at their tempo and pace. Yeah. And they're relentless. And they just keep pushing the pace and pushing the tempo. And I think that they're a really good team. And at even strength, you go look at their metrics, even strength in the league. They're tops. They're excellent. So the New York Rangers are not a great 5-on-5 team. And I think that's where the Carolina Hurricanes can really take advantage of it. I think the moves that Don Waddell made at the trade deadline are going to pay dividends for the Carolina Hurricanes here.
Well, Craig, Smith TM14 in our YouTube Nasty Chat says Dallas is stout, and I think I would agree on that, and probably a lot of other teams both in the West and the East following your analysis here. It should be a great opening round leading to a great Stanley Cup run and push, but thank you once again, Craig Button, TSN, for your time and flexing in this morning. MJ, I'm sure, owes you one. You can probably add it to his running tab, I'm sure, but enjoy the opening round. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk next week, Craig.
90 minutes, I'm going to play pickleball. No hype today.
You go get him. Love it. Craig Button, TSN. He's our hockey analyst. Brought to you, as always, by Pro-Am Sports. You can check them out, locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. They're getting you geared up for the playoffs. Rest assured, you can find them just north of the Yellowhead, St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or check them out online, proamsports.ca. Like you, they are sports nerds and AM nasties too. Tell them the boys at EST sent you. And just get down there and talk with the cooks. It's good to just... It's one of those shops where you can go hang out and just talk a bit, right? It's like going to the... it's like... I think Tim Allen used to do that home improvement, didn't he? He'd go to the hardware store or something.
It's a sports water cooler spot.
Yeah. You just have it in there. And then, who knows, you're walking out with a cap and some framed memorabilia or something, right? Like, it just happens like that. But Pro-Am Sports.
I loved going to the sports store as a kid because, you'd go check out the gear and stuff. And I loved it. And then you'd get the... I remember one time Joe Sakic walked in. I was a kid. Unreal. And
Joe Sakic just walked into the...
Yeah, it was a Scoff's hockey shop, I think. And he was coming in to grab some tape or whatever. Old Burnaby Joe's in there. And then you had, I've said this, but Peter Nedved was in there too that day. But Peter wanted everyone to know that Peter Nedved was in the store. Okay, and then all of a sudden, Joe I'm like, what is going on in here? But Joe was just mild and said hi.
That's Mr. Sakic, hey?
Mr. Sakic, like very, just complete contrast from the wild and crazy guy, the wild Czech, to
smoking inside. Hey, what's going on
to the
here?
understated Sakic, which was funny. Just get me some black tape and get
But
me
no,
in there.
sports, you said it, man. Like, it's even like... you grow up, you lose a little innocence, I guess. But as a kid, going to those places and seeing everything, and then Pro-Am's the best because last time I was in there anyways, there's just obviously Oilers gear, but I found like an old Moose Jaw Warriors puck.
Oh, really?
Like just stuff that you'd never even think of getting. You go in there, you see, you're like, I've always wanted that. I just didn't know it until I've seen it now at Pro-Am. So
if I can read the card right, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Yes, Warriors still alive, I do believe, in the Dub playoffs, going against the Broncos there as well.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
But get your thoughts in. If you're at Pro-Am or you plan on going to Pro-Am, let us know. It's always good to kind of relay those visits to the Cooks and boys down there as well. 7:24, we are chugging along here, hour number 2. The Nielson Show, obviously Dustin Nielson in San Diego with his family. They're on a bit of a trip. Joaquin Gage in. Jason Milne also deputizing throughout this half week, and then leading into the other half week. They'll be alongside me as well as we gear up Game 1, Oilers Kings Monday, Game 2 Wednesday. Dusty should probably be back for the Thursday show, perhaps the Wednesday, but right now we'll probably just call it the Thursday. So Games 1 and 2, we'll have Joaquin and Jay Milne along for the ride, and YouTube Trev and Zacticum as well behind the monitors, keeping it locked down. Do want to get to a quick Cool Bet hotline of the day. Zacticum, have you explored anything up at Cool Bet there on the website? Anything tantalizing you in terms of the NBA play-in? Obviously, Mr. Lean not here, Matthew Iwanek. Jay Milne likes to sprinkle down a cool bet every once in a while, but for the lack of those D-Gens, and of course Mr. D-Gen himself, Dustin Nielson, absent from the show today, I don't know if I'm going to give you a play. I don't really sprinkle too much. I keep my money pretty tight to breast in terms of that. The thing about me and his sports betting, I could rifle you off a parlay with no money on the line, and I'll hit it. I'll hit 20 combinations. I'll get it. I can say, I'll say to my wife, probably this will happen. It happens, but no money down. If I lay a dime down on that same prediction, it ain't cooking. I can't win.
I can't bet. My parlays just keep growing. They're fungus.
Why not, hey?
Because I love the zeros that I see, and I just keep going and going and going, and it never happens. But it's
always what could be.
What
me.
could be, yeah.
But I like Iwanik's approach too, Mr. Lean, and in classic Mr. Lean form, and his frugalness, to which we all appreciate. But he only lays down cents bets, and then he views that in like to him 10 cents is $100. So.
Does he actually? Yeah.
So if he wins $1 and he keeps juicing up that, so he's at like $20 for his thing, but he's building slowly. It'll take him a couple of lifetimes, but he'll eventually get to where he wants to go.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it, maybe, eh?
Yeah, I should put some money back in the cool because it's fun, but I get greedy. Because then I start throwing the 5s and 10s on there, and then I should be just sticking to 1s and 2s.
Stay cool. Bet responsibly.
Base hits, man. Base hits and doubles. I'll get you home every time.
But I don't mind the odd, looking way out to the bullpen and, this could happen. Hey, I'll put a quarter down on that and see. And as you mentioned, there's just a line of zeros with that bet. And you never know. But, in terms of the night tonight and the money line and the over-under, you will not be following me to the bank, and I don't intend to try to lead you there. But please feel free. Cool Bet, start an account up there as well. Great deals with Edmonton Sports Talk. Great guys as well. So they are our betting partners. If you want to get in on the action, NBA play-in, of course, Stanley Cup playoffs beginning tomorrow. So Cool Bet will be your place. Check them out today. Sign up, get an account, do all that good stuff, and be a winner and brag about it, either in the Paris Jewelers inbox or in our nasty chat and during the lock shop as well, which will be coming up later today with Hustler and the guys from Winnipeg Sports Talk as well, maybe Jake Boland-Moss and Patty Gregoire as well. But 7:30, we'll get to a sports update with Zacticum here. On the other side, we'll have I Says Pardon, That's Good, leading us up to hour number 3. But Zacticum, take it away. He'll get you updated in the world of sports.
For the third straight year, the Oilers meet the LA Kings in round 1. Vegas and Dallas also meet for first-round action, with both series starting on Monday. In the final game before playoffs, the Oilers lost 5-1 against the Avs. Holloway potted the goal while Broberg and Kulak got the assists. For the Jets, Nikita Chibrikov scored his first career goal to help them get the win over the Canucks for a final score of 4-2. The Flames, Ducks, and Kraken also picked up wins to close out the season. Looking towards the draft lottery, the Sharks have over a 25% chance for first overall. The Blackhawks, Ducks, and Blue Jackets hold the next highest chances for the top pick. Tonight, Jays start a 3-game series against the Padres with first pitch at 7:40. The NBA play-in round continues tonight when the Kings tip off against the Pelicans at 7:30, while the Heat face the Bulls at 5. In PWHL action, Toronto lost 2-1 against Boston, while Montreal beat Minnesota 4-3. Play continues Saturday when Toronto plays Montreal and Ottawa meets Minnesota. Early in round 2 of the RBC Heritage Classic. Canadian Mackenzie Hughes is tied 4th, sitting 3 strokes back from first place. Corey Connors and Adam Hadwin also represent Canada in the competition. This sports update is brought to you by Park Mazda, where dealer principal Mitch Lewicki is always up to play some pickleball.
If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Gadget and Gage. Maybe just but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Shaggy's always on time, Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat up the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramella, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, yeah. 7:32. This is the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Dustin Nielson away down in San Diego. Family trip. Lieutenant Eric, Joaquin Gage, and Zactigam handling the sports updates and everything else technical this morning. Have your say, 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox, or in the nasty chat, as well as Tommy the Wrench. He's up.
Yeah.
He's awake. He's checked in. He's still in bed, actually. He's laying in bed watching and listening to us. So he said he's kind of, I asked him what type of sleeper he is. He said all over the place.
Oh, really?
He goes stomach back, side to side.
Tough to get out of those silk sheets in the morning, huh? Is he?
Tom's a guy, he's the full pajama, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
the button up, the pant.
Yeah, he looks like Hugh Hefner coming out of that room. It's a sight to see.
Multiple pipes, yeah, right? Like that's the whole thing. Nasty chat's cooking. Love to see it. Hit the like, hit the sub. Again, I ain't begging, but we can do better while Dusty's away, I do believe. 156. Let's get some likes juiced up there and really pulverize that algorithm, shall we? Coming up, we are about under an hour away from your Vegas keyword as well. 8:20, we'll have that for Fly YEG. Your chance to qualify into a trip down to Las Vegas on its way at around 8:20. And pretty much an hour off of Sobeys Liquor Beer of the Week, Garrett Gallipo will be joining us, sampling some fares as well. Garrett likes to bring in the big glasses, and Joaquin Gage as well. A little surprise with us.
Zactigam with the Mr. Burns, excellent.
Yeah, he's waiting for this one. And the surprise, I'm really looking forward to that with you as well.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I cannot wait, and I can't wait to actually, because Garrett's he's the savant, like he's the expert. So. You're really
sommelier.
The sommelier, yeah. You'll be getting a grade. Like he'll grade it, and then
I'm looking forward to it because this is exciting.
I've already said too much, I think. So get your thoughts in. A lot of people, yes, we know Prozac. We know the band. I think we know the drug. I do believe kind of a loose handle now. People wanting to call you Zach, but we can go off from that. Maybe Prozac down in the moss pit. Hey, that's when you morph into a Prozac or something like that. Speaking of betting, have you followed Tim Mackey's journey? He's an Aussie in Calgary, and he bets 10 cents per follower on Blackjack. Pretty incredible story, to be honest. I haven't. Are you?
No.
Tim Mackey, no. But that's the bets. 10 cents. Hey, why not? You can.
I didn't even know you could do that. I thought it was just the lowest was $1. But my account would have lasted longer.
They still have the penny slots. Hey, is that still a thing?
No, that's.
Ducky chimes in. My son just asked why Dusty and Eric are both off today. Now the pulled back hair gets them every time. Is this a prelude to a chop? No, it's just different. Different times call for different measures.
Yeah.
The collared shirts aren't too bad.
The shirt is fantastic.
This is for you. It's race weekend. We're sprinting in Shanghai, right?
Yeah,
It's,
this is. I should have wore some of my garb, I guess. But there's always a.
Oh, we'll have you back.
We can review.
You're back Monday, correct?
Yeah,
Game 1.
So we can.
You'll be in for a treat.
Oh my gosh, it'll be a full recap of Shanghai.
Morning, fellas. Comes in from Herb's Hose. Gager, what was your assessment of Broberg in last night's game?
I love his first 2 steps to avoid checkers when he has the puck, and that first pass you can see he gives flashes of things that he can do, and I think that's the reason why the Oilers have held on to him for so long. There's definitely something there with that player. He just has to figure it out. You know, it takes time. I mean, you look back at the progression of, if we can go that far back, but look at Darnell Nurse. You know, it took him a while to get.
Careful now.
I know. But look.
Yeah. No.
If you were to look at a video of Darnell Nurse a long time ago, it's night and day to where he is. So the first pass, like Darnell he gets a lot of heat, obviously, but he does a lot of subtle things really, really well. And I do think there's a player in Broberg. He has to figure it out, though. The ball's in his court, so to speak, of how he wants his NHL future to go. Got to eliminate the mistakes, recognizing the play, the speed of the NHL compared to the American League. You can see it at times, but there's also NHL players are so good; they're always in the proper position, and that can help a young defender as well.
Well, I think in this Condors team too, and I do believe Brad Malone calling it a career after this playoffs.
Oh, is he?
I think Tommy had the tweet yesterday, but retired. But just in terms of like true organizational depth, not just the top team here, but you're going down to the farm and you're seeing, success there, but also both Holloway and now Broberg discuss their confidence, being fertilized down there and growing some. And that doesn't necessarily translate to the on-ice production and talent or whatever, but good to see that you can go down there, get a little rehab, come up, and you're feeling good about yourself, and you inject a bit of that attitude and youth and that I guess just that thought of confidence. It's just injecting confident people into any room, business or whatever. It just helps everybody along.
It's I getting called up. It's a great
like
feeling.
Getting sent down is
sent down sucks. It's terrible. I remember back in the day, it was funny because I would always pass Fred Brathwaite on the way back up and down. We did it like twice, and we'd be on these. I swear, we would be on those slow moving like flat escalators. So we're like, I'd see them, and one time because we had to get our connect. I think we actually just high fived and went past. Not a word said between the two of us. We just know because the other one was happy, the other one was sad, but we didn't want to make each
punching
other.
in, punching out. Just kind of
it was the sheep and the coyote.
Exactly. Hey Sam.
So,
hey.
But when you have those young guys come up, and look, man, it's for the Oilers to be in a position where arguably their 2 best prospects have to fight to get into the lineup is a good position to be in.
Yeah, and options and not having to rely on something, but getting guys to come up. We'll pause for a second. I says pardon. We're going to get into that right now, and it's brought to you by Lawyer Central. Lawyer-Central.com/pardons is where you can find them. You can get a clean slate for an affordable rate. Everybody makes stupid mistakes, and as the playoffs loom and the moss pit descends upon the city, there could be a tie-in here. But if something from last year's moss pit is hanging over your head and you want to get down to LA for games 3 or 4, check out Lawyer Central. Lawyer-Central.com/pardons, or give them a call, 1-888-288-8177. Again, everybody makes stupid mistakes. If you're still paying for it, you don't have to. Visit them today. Find out more about getting a pardon. They have lawyers across the country, coast to coast to coast. So I says pardon today, and we're sticking with hockey, and I'm going to go to a tweet that I saw yesterday, 3:50 p.m., issued by our very own Greg Wyshynski of ESPN, who's a great guest, and also a guy not so much like hockey analysis, but the stuff around the NHL off the ice, team names, all-star events, all this. He issues a tweet, and this is from DetroitHockey.net. On Tuesday, applications were filed at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for trademarks on the following names. There's 5 of them here. The Utah Blizzard, the Utah Venom, the Utah Fury, Utah HC, and Utah Hockey Club. I'll just let that sit for a second. We went over yesterday with names, whether it be Salt Lake City, which it's not going to be. It'll be encompassing the state of Utah. But we had a little fun with it. Of course, the religious aspect of the state always ties in. Again, tongue-in-cheek, a lot of fun. The name Sting came up yesterday, Stingers, Mountain Men, type of a ruggedness. Yeti was one that's been tossed around. I'm warming up to Yeti. But I says pardon when I glance at these 5 names. And I don't know if they're in any particular order in terms of one's more important or one's more sought after than the other. I guess Blizzard might be something, but you got an Avalanche right there next door. Venom,
that doesn't
Fury,
make sense. No.
Not having any of this. I says pardon. Do you have time for any of them?
Is Mountain Men in there? Mountain Men?
Not on the patent and trademark, but
know.
it did fly in the nasty chat yesterday morning.
I mean, the Yeti makes sense. The mountains are there. It's. I don't know. I do like the HC, like Utah.
Well, because this is your European career coming out.
I for years. Confession, I guess I didn't know what the HC stood for. I was like,
well, that's we're gonna run into a spot of trouble here when it's like go HCs.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be let's go HCs. That's gonna be the chant. It stands for hockey club, I would assume.
Yeah.
Unless Ryan Smith's got something else under his hat here. But I mean, Zactium, what are your thoughts on these 5? Is it all hit and a miss or?
Blizzard sounds good if there was no Avalanche, but then the Venom I think is the one that really stands out to me. It's the best of the bunch. It's the best of the bunch.
Enough, yeah.
I gotta say,
if you had to pick one gun to the head,
would be interesting though. It would be
Venom would have worked better in Phoenix. Though.
Exactly.
More snakes down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they're going full Spider-Man and they just encompass the whole. I mean,
or go full Marvel. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. Then
bring in the character. Imagine the mascot there, eh?
Symbiotes.
The Utah Longlegs.
Yeah. You can have your Carnage Knights, if you will.
Carnage Knights.
Your third alternate jersey,
Look
if you want. Oh well, I watched the cartoons here, but power. I mean, Utah, Colorado. It's going to be a great rivalry here, I guess. I saw Vegas Golden Knights putting out that form online and trying to capture former Coyotes fans into their fold and kind of adopt them, as you will. But yeah, I just all of these make me say pardon. I'm not having it. I know Tommy the Wrench chiming in Utah HC, and he has the puking emoji in the nasty chat, so we know his thoughts there.
Stick to jerseys, Tommy.
He also says you need a timeout after that comment.
Really?
Wow.
I don't know which. Well,
I might have to block him.
Tommy's coming to play this morning. That's for sure. Barry the Cheetah. Those are weaker names. Venom for the Bees. No, I just don't. Skinwalkers. I got time for that. But I says pardon all 5 of these. I'm hating them. I think they're all crap. To be honest with you, I just don't. I know if you have to pick one, maybe like Fury. That's so roller jammy to me. Like it's kind of like energy.
Yeah.
The Utah Positive Thoughts, or the like what's going on here? So
I says wives, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just the mascot's got to just be a guy in a suit though, with a name tag.
Yeah. No, it's 2 guys.
2
guys with white dress shirts and backpacks.
It's sweating a bit because it's too hot for the clothes that they chose. A couple of bikes along for the ride as well. But, chime in if you got any thoughts on that. We'd love to hear them. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. Utah Phoenix is a great name from Fat Efron. Phoenix Rising from Utah. I have time for that. That would be. I mean, the NHL wouldn't be going down that avenue.
That'd be funny.
I would love that. I mean, why not? The Utah. going off the Utah Jazz, and maybe like it's like you take something else from the state of Louisiana or New Orleans or something like that, and have a joke with
The
it.
Phoenix Rising's good with a coyote in its talons. I think that would be a little troll there.
Too soon. We have a question too, just ahead of That's Good, brought to you by the Italian Center, and this goes out to you again. Gager Damas is what Stampater asks. Will the winner of the Dallas-Vegas series have anything left for their second round series? That Central Division is wild.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've all been interested to see what's going to happen with who comes back into the lineup with the Vegas Golden Knights, and what kind of effect can they actually have. Craig Button's, you guys have talked about it. He's talked about how they've been a subpar team since their start, and let's face it, the Dallas Stars are rolling. There's going to be some. It's a heavyweight tilt for sure. Mm-hmm. The depth of what we've seen from Vegas or Las Vegas in the past, it seems like a great matchup. I'm interested to watch, but I think that the combination of what the Dallas Stars can throw at you is when you check the boxes throughout the lineup. I think the D is pretty close. I think that's a wash. But the depth of the forwards and the speed of the forwards of the Dallas Stars, I would give them the edge. And watching the goaltending of the Knights over the last couple months, and although I don't think Ottinger is where he has been in the past, I still give the slight edge to Dallas in that case. So if you're looking, they're up in a few of the categories. But I still think it's going to be a great series because you have a team that won it the year prior, bringing in that pedigree into the first round, having been there before. It's going to be great.
How important too is it, like from an Adin Hill standpoint, and you're thrown into the fire, and you've kind of seen it before during a Stanley Cup playoff where a guy, you're just go. And you go and you do it because there's no back thought. There's no psyching yourself up or down for it. You're in there and you have to perform and you do it. And we saw it last year. But you do think like you can't repackage that and use that. I mean, that's a one-time special. That's a one-time offer. This is just Adin Hill now. Stanley Cup champion, yes. But there's no and for teams playing against an unknown, like how difficult is that? Like from a goalie standpoint, you're thrown into the fire, but now knowing that everybody has tape on you, knowing that the season it's been, and not necessarily you're coming off a cup win, it's tough to go back to back. So does that charm just kind of fade away? And I mean, you can't repurpose it and repackage it in any shape or form. You just have to go out there now and try to do what you were doing. But how big of it that is for like the Oilers last year and for the Golden Knights, that element of surprise and shock?
To a point, I think in Adin Hill's case coming in, it's ignorance is bliss to a point for a young goaltender getting thrown into the fire, like you mentioned, of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I think not knowing and just this is the way it is. I'm doing it. But now you have now Adin Hill knows what it takes to get to where they want to be, right? So and. He doesn't have his car in the right window right now. He's going to have to build his game to get back to that level.
It's not running off pixie dust and all that magic in the narrative of it. Like
I think in that series you could say the same to Jake Ottinger. That unbelievable series he had against the Calgary Flames.
Yep.
He was unreal. And
that talk has carried that
has carried
that was
him.
His thing. Yeah.
So everyone talks about, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Jake Ottinger's a really good goaltender, but we haven't seen anything that resembles that type of play that he had a few years ago. So he's got a great defensive structure in front of him. But it's again, I think there's advantages to being a little bit naive in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But then you get to the point where you need a little bit more experience to, this is how this is done. And I think it's going to, for both those goaltenders, they're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah, like it's just, you can't, it's a one-off thing. Yeah, and they made full use out of it last year and going all the way, but I just, man, and repeating, like, in terms of having a dynasty or something, or whether you believe you're part of one or whatever, I mean, that's subconsciously, you've climbed the hill, you've climbed the mountain. And I use the Oilers, too, with their window here. You look around the league and every team has their narrative and their story, and certain ones are cashing that. You just think it's a matter of time before the Oilers, because you're going to run into opponents who have either been there, done that, or like the Kings. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think they're gearing up for a cup run.
Yeah.
I get it. You made the playoffs. Everybody's in. You have that. But let's be honest here. The Oilers' mentality going into the playoffs and chasing a cup is a little more different and probably a little more intense than the Kings right now.
Yeah. It's to the point where I think the Kings are so focused on the Oilers, and they have been for so long. If everything goes the Kings' way and they beat the Oilers, I think they would just get demolished.
That's their Stanley Cup. Yeah.
This is what they want to do. Strummy sent a question to me. I'm sorry, Strummy. I'm having trouble trying to understand what you're trying to ask. He says, why don't the goalie pads touch the ice anymore? They're above the skates now. There used to be a slot for the skate, or am I remembering wrong? You're going to have to probably send me a picture of an example of.
Was that in the text? Did you
yeah.
Send that in. You can.
If you have a picture of maybe a comparison, I'm not sure. The new pads are designed so when you do go down, they pop straight up. I know when you look at a goalie standing, it does look a little bit different than it used to. There, you see so much of the skate, but it's just the way that they're designed now, and the movement has changed so much. I don't know what vintage you are, Strummy, but if you're talking leather and deer hair, yeah, it's definitely different.
You playing in those brick-laden pads and gloves and equipment, just kind of.
Oh gosh, yeah. My pads would go from they would gain about 10 pounds of water at the end of it. It's funny. You look at goaltenders from back then; they all got tree trunks for legs because all these they had to lug these things around. Now you blow on some of these guys, you're worried about their patellas falling off.
Toon says the driving cat says toe ties versus tie straps, Gager.
Toe ties, tie straps. Again, it's a function of when goalies go down and it pops the pad up, and the leg is actually fastened right into the middle of the pad. Which, I mean, I wish I would have thought about that years and years ago. The evolution of goalie equipment. That's again going into a sports store and looking at. I could sit in there and look at goalie stuff forever. It's fantastic.
You should get into the biz, like get really corner, but look ahead of the curve. Like you kind of.
I wish I. Yeah, once I get
equipment
Adrian,
that doesn't weigh a pound, like you just kind of.
I'm in the process of talking with Adrian Nuge, and we'll get some new
couple
designs.
Visits down to NASA, get in the tube and see how it all works out. This is going to tie into that's good as well, and we'll just go through this as well. Brought to you by the Italian Center Shop. Spinelli Panino, a house-made baguette topped with olive oil, oregano, roasted red pepper spread, then loaded with mortadella, capicolo, Genoa salami, and provolone. Genoa. Available hot or mild, wrapped up in deli paper, so you know it's good for an easy grab-and-go meal for any occasion. Don't sleep on these sandwiches, the Paninos. Get into the Italian Center. A couple of locations around Edmonton. I prefer the one on the west end here. As mentioned earlier, nestled into that parking lot with Wayne's. You can get in there, get some cards, head to the Italian Center shop, pick up a couple sandwiches. Stanley Cup playoffs this weekend. You don't got to leave your house. Go today, get the sandwiches, take them home, slice them up as you do. You slice them in little slices, just like we had at my wedding. That was the midnight.
The midnight snack.
Went over a dream. Yeah. 5-star, like nobody complaining at all. Get these sandwiches, get a couple of pies, throw them in the freezer, and get the meatballs and the provolone cheese and the buns. As we were making earlier in the week, we had kind of the meatball sub sandwich. I know Tommy the Wrench was going down hard on one the other day here.
I dove into one.
You had to.
Yeah.
And how, I mean, give me your review. That was just something else.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. So don't sleep on that. Get down to the Italian Center. That's good. And I'll say that about every single item in there, whether it's the bakery, the deli, or the pies.
Do you like do you dive into the pasta that much?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Love pasta.
Okay,
love a good pasta.
Go to the Italian market. Has a great.
I've gotten ravioli from there before.
Really?
But
make your own the sepia pasta. You can get the squid ink. And
the black stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone down that.
Go that yet. Cream and maybe I don't mind the clams or shrimp in there too, and have full seafood pasta. It's next level when you get the squid ink.
I love listening to you talk about food. I'm just telling you, you get
my wife does that. It's I don't
like if you could read a recipe book on tape.
Oh,
like we could make tons of money here. We could finance our trip to the Grey Cup.
I might. Well, we'd be going to a couple Champions League games.
Oh yeah, soccer. I love it. I hit the thumbs up. Penner's Pancake says for LT Engager. Career 919 save percentage deserves some likes. Well, he's getting the numbers here. That's not me.
That's right.
To say that, but that's good. And quickly here, it's just going to be today. It's my idea and my thought is Christmas Eve is always the best because you're right there on the precipice. You're right there. You're not at the top of the hill yet, but you're a step away and you can still see over top and you can see everything to come. So that's good. The regular season, she gone, and the playoffs beginning tomorrow. But for the Oilers, good enough, and the schedule crunch near the end of the regular season, they get some time, which is good as well. Sit back, enjoy the weekend, watch all these other teams beat each other up. Monday, game 1, starting with a bit of a break. Oilers can rest a bit. Back in action Monday, game 1. And as I mentioned earlier, the temperature does take a turn as well for the Moss Pit since it's game 1 here in Edmonton. 16 degrees is the forecast Monday. Sunny skies, 4 degrees into that evening and overnight period. So
let's hear some at 780-218-9999. Let's hear your weekend prep for Monday. What do you have to do to your viewing area? Are you at home? Are you going to the game? Are you meeting up with friends? Are there
you get
parties?
the garage going again? Hey?
Yeah,
the old garage, the feeder screen. But how many crates of 6 o'clock or lager are you going to buy on special as well? As that'll be, but you do it today. I think that's the plan. Friday, you stock up today.
Yeah.
You don't want to be waiting come Monday. Maybe you have to work. Maybe you got that mad rush. Now I know it's an 8 o'clock, 8:30 or whatever, but you don't want to be doing that. You're going to get things going early. You're going to start pre-gaming. Maybe the boss lets you go. Like it's Monday. It's going to be nice. It's going to be one of those days. It's a Monday that feels like a Friday because it's going to be so nice. You're going to leave work early. You're going to start drinking, pre-gaming, whatever you do, barbecuing. But you're right. Like, get this thing going today. Get the 6 o'clock lagers. Head to the Italian Center. Stock up on the food, the drinks, the munchies, the whole bit. And you're right, 780-218-9999. Let us know. And we can accept pictures now via the text, which is great. It opens up a whole new window. So text in, send us a picture of whatever, the man cave, the Oiler cave, whatever you got going on, garage, backyard, or otherwise. It was last year. There's that car that was driving around, the big screen on it. Right?
Oh, right. Yeah. Showing the game.
Was that around the Henday or the White or something like that? I mean, give me more of that, please. But
are you going for 18 in Shoggy's garage? And who knows, right?
I still my fantasy is him awarding the jacket in his garden shed, and that's his cabin.
It'd probably be a green vest.
Something like that, right? Like I just needs to happen. But yeah, if you're eating pimento sandwiches at Rashog's or anywhere else, let us know. And it's just good. This is the time of year. I know Dusty's got I think he was working on a playoff anthem as well, so we'll probably get that sometime next week. Jonty and Victoria had his playoff anthem that we kicked off the show with, and I think he's got different genres of that anthem. Country, I think there's like a death metal version maybe, but I'll explore more.
Has my old alumnus Dallas sent anything new in lately, or?
Not yet.
No,
not yet. Well, you do. We did see him and his wife down in Vegas. There,
did you?
Vegas Way. We were at the Top Golf, and they were there.
No way.
And we bump into each other. He introduced us to his wife. Great people, and we talked for a bit. But what are the odds of that? But the Dairy King, he's a man of the people up there in Nelson, operating that standalone Dairy Queen seasonal operation. He calls the shots, and yeah, he's living large. But maybe a little gift from him as well as the playoffs loom. That wouldn't be nice. 780-218-9999. Why is Whale and the Wolf playing over Gage and Eric? Is there music coming through? What? Audio troubles? Oh, we'll get to that. Website cutting out. I got nothing playing on my end here, so maybe we got some gremlins in the system. How about this? We'll take a break. Zach will have a sports update. Also, if you want to play kind of easy trivia this morning, we'll get to that after the top of the hour. Text in 780-218-9999. And we could be picking you to play some kind of easy trivia, but we'll get Zach to do a sports update here, and we'll figure out what the hell is going on with the audio. I guess it's all Whale and the Wolf show now. That's well, we'll take it. But shut up in there, you vagabonds. Zach, you can take it away with the sports update, and 780-218-9999, and we'll see what happens if we can get somebody for kind of easy trivia. But a sports update. Zach, take it away.
The playoff picture is set with the Kings and Oilers getting set to meet in the first round for the third straight year. To close out the regular season, the Oilers dropped a 5-1 decision against the Avs. Holloway scored the lone goal, with Kulak and Broberg getting the helpers. Jets rookie Nikita Chibrikov helped the Jets get a 4-2 win over the Canucks last night to close out the season. The Flames, Ducks, and Kraken also picked up wins in their final games. At the end of the season, the Sharks have the best chance for first overall. The Blackhawks, Ducks, and Blue Jackets hold the next highest chances for the top pick. Blue Jays meet the Padres tonight at 7:40 to start a 3-game series. Over in the Association, the Pelicans meet the Kings, and the Heat face the Bulls to wrap up the play-in round. PWHL action saw Toronto lose 2-1 against Boston, while Montreal beat Minnesota 4-3. Play continues Saturday when Toronto plays Montreal and Ottawa meets Minnesota. Jake Paul has offered former UFC fighters Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz $10 million to fight in an MMA matchup. Paul is 9-1 in boxing and is set to meet Mike Tyson in the ring July 20th. Take your career to the next level with Clayburn Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeymen, bricklayers, and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing that they're an industry leader in safety. Visit www.clayburnservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Nielson Show. Dustin Nielson on vacation. Lieutenant Eric alongside Joaquin Gage and Zactigum behind the monitors, doing the sports updates, keeping you updated this morning. I don't know why Whale and the Wolf is playing. I do believe a few of you are saying on the TuneIn app there is some Whale and the Wolf disturbance, interruption. Don't want to really call them that, but I think it's good on the YouTube. So it could be a tune-in thing, I guess. But a looping of Whale and the Wolf this morning. Are you picking up?
I heard
canary in the coal mine here.
I don't know. I don't hear it.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, and again, we do apologize. Stupid Asso says the music keeps jumping in. It does it on a daily basis. So thank you very much. Again, this is a by committee thing. If you notice anything that we're not picking up during the show, let us know. We don't have a large engineering department we need to wait hours and hours upon to get things fixed. But we do it here ourselves. But if we don't know, we can't fix it. So if you have anything, whether it's visual, audio, or whatever, just let us know. We're not doing it on purpose. We're trying here, just like Connor Brown. So let us know, and we'll get on it. Maddie will get on it, and we'll figure it out. But my brother chimes in, 780-218-9999. We could use the spins. So he ain't complaining. He's getting a little more Whale in the Wolf for you here. But maybe if you're usually on the tune in this morning or iHeart, and that's giving you the problems, I apologize. And maybe jump into the YouTube for the final hour here. Give us a like, smash the sub. Why not? One more hour to go. And we'll take you home through the YouTube if the other streaming platforms are giving you a bit of a problem this morning. But once again, 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. Let us know because we're doing this for you, and we want to make sure the best product is coming through your ears, through your eyes, even through your nose with the That's Good segment as well. But
can I tell you my dream I had this morning?
Please.
It was a late dream, and I was late. Obviously, I didn't get up. It was like 7:30, and I was, oh my gosh, and I was just so disappointed in myself. And I was driving here, trying to call you somehow, and you weren't answering. And I was like, oh my God, he's so mad he won't even answer. And then I realized my dog was in the car, so then I had to take my dog back home because I couldn't bring it into the studio. And it was a mess. It was just a mess. And I was so upset with myself. And I kind of, in your dream when something bad is happening, it's not great. And you realize, this isn't real.
Time to check out.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is a dream. And then I woke up and I go, oh, thank God. And so I was like, then I got up and set like 2 more alarms, but it was just, I was chuckling to myself and sorry for disappointing you in my
Well, in classic dream form too, you're trucking along on the sun. What's my dog doing here? Like it just pops up. It's not like you remember bringing it in the vehicle. It's just here it is.
I had to go to a park to get a part for my car too, which
of course, you're a busy man.
It was a fantastic dream, but I made it in. It was good.
Yeah, no, funny. And we look. I appreciate your time and Jason Milne's time. I'm a big time is the currency that I think we all don't spend enough time observing and thanking each other for. But thank you for the time.
I'm just a houseplant here,
waking up early here, and we're gonna have a good little afternoon.
Oh yeah,
as well. Some other things cooking around EST. But do we have a contestant for a kind of easy trivia?
No, I was trying to figure out why on the streaming
what the heck?
it played like that. It didn't play for me. I'm giving up somebody a ring right now, so be near your phone. I'll be calling you shortly.
Love it. Thank you very much, Zach. And he's doing the Lord's work this morning. He took a. That's the. I said, hey, let's do. You want to do the sports update? Sure, but of course, the day he chooses to do sports updates, a few other things popping up.
Oh, yeah.
So he's skating here, and that's a good test. It's a good test. This is you got to have a bunch of burners going at once and pots bubbling over. I like to see it here. I'm getting a little teary-eyed, Zach. Actually, it's just, I love this. This is a producer.
You don't learn from success.
Yeah, exactly. Vegas keyword though on the way at around 8:20, and that's all ahead of Beer of the Week. Sobeys Beer of the Week. Garrett Gallipo will be joining us to kind of take you home here through the week. No, I did not snap Barry the Cheater. It's just I would never get mad at Zach to come. He doesn't do anything enough to make me that mad. I don't think I've been mad since the 90s, to be honest with you.
Really? I've never seen you mad.
No, I don't get angry. The last time I was mad, Michael Thompson, leaving grade 8, he took a hockey stick and he slashed it to the back of my legs, and it was just this bratty kid, the kind of that kid that always pissed people off. I'm just like, and I don't know what he was doing. I don't know where. But he smashed me, and I was filled with this rage that I've never been filled with before. And I ran after him, chased him down, and pummeled him.
Oh, really?
Pummeled him. And he's a good guy now. Like, I'm friendly. He's grown up. We've all grown up. But that's the last time I've been, like, irate.
How old were you? Grade
13?
4. Okay, yeah.
12?
I remember.
I think I've been mad since.
You said like slash someone. The last person, as a kid, I slashed this girl in elementary school. We were playing floor hockey, and I slashed her, and I don't know, maybe I liked her or something. Her name was Sheena. It's funny how I remember that. But the next day she came and showed me her leg. It was a massive bruise, and I felt
back or the
back,
okay.
like back of the
thigh.
like hamstring, and then I met her like probably 15 years later. And she was a supermodel, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" And she remembered it, and I was just like, "Ugh, well,
a quad model
just wasn't meant to be."
She shows up like
she was. I was looking at her eye to eyes, like she's 6'2".
Yeah.
It was a joke. I was just, oh my god,
where's your stick now?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway,
Barry the Cheater, LT, the pummeler of Thompson. Yes. And I'm still friends with him. Actually, this guy owns a lot of shuffleboard tables. He has a Quonset of shuffle,
really?
and I might be acquiring one off of him. So that's how life goes. One day you're pummeling a kid in the playground, and the next
you're buying a shuffleboard
fast forward some years, and you're getting a shuffleboard table off him. But it's good.
Like it.
Zach, don't make me ask.
No, we got a caller on the line. Shane in a vac truck.
Shane in a vac truck. I love it. Shane, how are we doing today, man?
Good. How about you guys?
Can't complain.
I'm great, Shane. That was a vac truck. So cleaning the furnaces?
No, not furnace cleaning. Like vac truck with a vacuum suck for like sucking up oil and water and.
All right.
But I'm in a pickup truck today, so I'm kind of lying. I'm not in a vac truck.
Is this day off? You're kind of gallivanting around, or are you on the clock right now?
On the clock.
On the clock. Okay, well, we'll get you on this clock as well here. Kind of easy trivia. I think you know the job. Have you played before?
Yes, I have.
Love it. So you know what's going on. I'll read the first question. Start the ticker after that. You got to get 3 out of 5. Are you ready?
You bet.
Good luck. Who did the Oilers draw in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Kings.
Who did the Dallas Stars draw in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Vegas Golden Knights.
Who will the Vancouver Canucks play in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Pass.
Who will the Toronto Maple Leafs play in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs?
The big bad Boston Bruins.
You got it. Absolutely. Great job, man. And you're off to Mr. Mike's, baby.
And Sergio Ramos gets a nipple erection.
Oh, is that dirty?
This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic cosmic proportions.
Oh, is that dirty?
Frustration sets in and the emotion goes out, and then you just start playing by yourself.
Oh, is that dirty?
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Sorry. I should have said something. I just assumed.
Shane and a vac truck, the winner. He's off to Mr. Mike's. It's kind of easy trivia brought to you by Mr. Mike's. Where's the liner here? We got to find it here. Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Avenue, Mark Messier Trail. Just kind of nestled there around Pro-Am Sports. You can kind of get in, get some 6 o'clocker lager and a Mr. Mike's steak or whatever you choose off the menu and head to Pro-Am Sports. But nice and close to each other, 137th Ave, Mark Messier Trail. And again, 6 o'clocker lager on tap at Mr. Mike's. Get down there today. Shane in a vac truck, I do believe it was $25 richer in Mr. Mike's credits this morning. So congrats to him. And I screwed up. I messed up. I dropped the ball. I did. I sent the puck over the glass. 2 minutes in the box for me for being stupid.
No, I didn't, because I did them last time. I'd written these out, but yeah, yours were. I gotta say, it's a little bit more Tommy-esque. I think I was a little bit more of softballs here, but
it always depends on the contestant as well.
I
the
guess
wealth of knowledge that they have. But yeah, so we're going to get to 3 questions too many as well, and that's ahead of the Vegas keyword, which will be coming up here in about 10 minutes, and Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week to take you home. But 3 questions too many this morning. It's brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, including dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who can't wait to get the theater projector out in the dealership to have the entire staff over to watch Game 1 Monday night, Oilers and Kings. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. You can check them out online at parkmazda.ca or go visit them in Sherwood Park. Go say hi to the outstanding staff and dealer principal Mitch. Tell them EST sent you. Park Mazda, they will get you where you need to go. Joaquin Gage, where can people follow you on the social medias? Because right now with your other line of work, you are on there quite a bit, and I must say the video's outstanding and informative.
Yeah, no, we at K4 we have some new videos coming out soon, just more classroom based. So lots of learning, teaching about finances, keeping you up to date with things that are happening. Yeah, just I like to keep Canadians informed.
And that's Joaquin Gage is still 31 on Twitter?
Yeah, Joaquin Gage 31 at X. I think it's just Joaquin Gage at Instagram. Yeah, you can. I'm fortunate enough you can kind of just type my name in, and there's not too many Joaquins. You might get in touch with Phoenix once in a while, but other than that, it's probably me.
Your uniqueness is why my brother and I would at times imitate you on our driveway growing up. I think I've told you this before, and it's so wild that you, of all people, I'm sitting here. I mean, it's wild that kids are imitating Joaquin Gage on their driveway growing up, of all things, I must say, respectively. But it's just funny how, again, this is like the Thompson thing all over again. You pummel the kid, now you're getting
I like I have one of those unique names where it does kind of roll off the tongue. And so when broadcasters in games, most of them, everybody says the last name of the player, but a lot of times they would say my full name. Jim Hewson would say it a lot. So when in certain games, which is great, watching the old VHSs and having him call one of my games.
Gage and Cage and the goalie thing, like it was all in. Yeah, and it just I don't know, it worked for me. But Dean Asplin says, "Drop your day gig, Gager. You're doing a great job." So just again for people who don't know. And if you wanted to take a little time to...
Oh, yeah. If you're looking to, a review of your finances, I work for K4 Financial. We're a financial planning firm that, we're for the middle Canadians, I say. We service everyone. Our niche is... obviously, we're looking for younger people closer to retirement, making sure that... all the boxes are checked before you push that retirement button.
Check him out. Check out Gage and his team. And what's the name again? You can
check out our website, www.k4financial.ca. So just the letter K, the number 4, financial.ca.
Love it. We'll get into 3 questions too many right now. Once again, brought to you by Park Mazda. And if you have any questions for specifically Gager, I like to open this up for the guests coming in on these shows because it's not always often that we get to share in their time and experience. So if you have anything for Gager, playing days or whatever, feel free to chime in here. We could even stretch it to 4 or 5 maybe if it suggests. But Gager LTE from Jaunty and Victoria. What's the 4th line come Monday?
Oh,
you want to take a dig at this one here?
This is a Holloway question, I think.
I think we're trying to get you into that.
Yeah.
You're not biting, are you?
No, I don't think you'll see Holloway. But that's a good question. I think it changed because of the Kings. I think.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's situational is.
So I do think you'll see Carrick. You caught me off guard here. I
mean, if it's just 2 players or 4 players, engaging like that, like you don't have to give a full 3, I guess, or a stout 3.
Mark Carrick.
A mix.
Do you put Derek Ryan in there as an extra? Just the face-offs are so key too. It's tough because they're both center, but I like the fact that you have 2 centermen in the lineup. I know we haven't seen that much, but I don't know. Connor Brown kills penalties, so yeah, you're probably going to see Janmark, Carrick, and Brown.
Feeling the urn at all? Are we?
I think the big urn's still back.
Big urn, yeah.
He doesn't roll on Sundays.
Your true black ace, in a sense. Yeah. So once again, Game 1 Monday, Edmonton. Temperatures rising. It's going to get real pretty quick here in the city. So we're looking forward to this. Question number 2, and Zach, if you'd like to weigh in on this one as well, feel free. Boys, 1 upset through the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. An upset will be defined as a lower seed beating a seed higher than them. So if you want to go real tight or if you want to go for a full WC2 taking off a top seed, go for it. But if there's 1 upset that you would think, maybe there's none, but if there is one that you would think would be the most likely, where are you going with this?
I have to go Canucks. When I look at everything,
it will happen.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I feel that the team going in with, the Predators have that underdog feeling of them too. I think they're going up against the top team in the Pacific. They got nothing to lose, and the Canucks really. I don't like teams that skate through the season without adversity.
They've never really hit a bump, hey?
Especially when the playoffs start, and if they drop the first game, that fan base, we all know how awful it is. I grew up on the mean streets of Kitsilano. I know how these people act. They burn things, for crying out loud. That'll be the first time that this team has faced any sort of outside adversity, and it's such a small space that it happens in, and we'll see what kind of intestinal fortitude this team actually has. If they I don't think they'll lose, but I think if I'm going to look through every team in the Stanley Cup playoffs, that's the series where I
get a little frisky with the Preds.
That's where I could see the possible upset.
Zach, what do you got?
Well, I was going to say the same there. I think Nashville, they've been rolling hot, and the Canucks, they're a young, unproven team, and as Gager said, they haven't faced any adversity, and I think that's a huge thing before playoffs. The Oilers dropping, 4 of their last 5 games before playoffs. I don't think that's a bad thing per se. It gets you prepped for the postseason and try and bounce back and get into the action. But the Canucks, they've been good the entire season. They haven't really had many blips, so having a have that is huge, and I think the experience level just isn't there. So I don't 100% think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's the highest chance out of all the series, and maybe another one to look at is the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Panthers.
And that's what I'm saying. Who do you say is the upset or the underdog here? Because the Lightning kind of waiting around in the reeds, and I know it's a wild card team by definition, but how wild are they? Hey?
Not really wild. I mean, Vasilevsky's back in full swing. They got Dumba and Duclair, Braden Point, Kucherov. Like, the list goes on and on and on. The pedigree there is insane. They have Stanley Cup champions. They've won twice, 3 back-to-back finals. You can't really doubt the Tampa Bay Lightning either. So those are my 2 picks for that. But I think the Nashville Canucks one is more interesting.
Definitely.
Of course, you can slice this a variety of ways in the nasty chat. Vegas upsetting Dallas, that comes in from DEL. Matthew Moreau says Islanders over Canes. Look, I mean, if Patty Waugh sets up very, very boring, and like, who's to say, right? You could.
It's a Red Rover game.
I don't know.
They drop the puck and both teams back on.
Man, it's just it's round 1, right? And you always kind of And maybe this was more so when it was 1v8 and then the traditional format.
Yeah.
Maybe you had more of a likelihood to view or look for the upset, but.
I would love the Olympic style format. I mentioned this before. Every 4 years, they go a 1 through 16, and 16 plays 1, and do it.
You're conferencing.
Yeah, you're just there's no. I mean, it will never ever happen. But I'm just saying, once every 6 years, they it's the Hunger Games of the NHL where they do this, and that way you could actually get. The battle of if it lined up Battle of Alberta Stanley Cup final, right? Or
give me the in-season tournament. I'll take that. A BOA in the in-season.
It seems like every other professional sport is doing something or trying something. F1 is doing
baby. Just make
sprint
more
races.
money. Why
There's
not?
6 sprint races this year. They're adding. They've gone to 24. It's in-season tournaments. It's time to dust off the old ideas, and if it doesn't work, you don't have to do it again. But what's wrong?
Stop
with it?
always being the last horse to the corral with these ideas too.
Yeah.
I mean, get ahead of this thing while it's still kind of cooking. I'm for it, but I know the traditional. We're going to get shellacked.
Oh,
by even bringing this up, so I'm going to pump the brakes and stop her there. Question number 3, and I guess just in terms of the Dustin Nielsen family vacation down in San Diego Way, Legoland, the marina, whatever it's called down there, SeaWorld, right? They still call it that, Sea Place.
Yeah.
Padres, they're going to the Petco Park and all that. But San Diego, you been? Anything interest you down there? I guess the question would be, what of San Diego interests you? Is it Padres? Is it Legoland? Is it some other thing down there? Is there anything at all that interests you with San Diego? I just find it. I know that they have 2 young children, and I'm sure that weighs in a lot to this trip. But a weird locale, I would say, in terms of your more popular one stateside. No.
Yeah, no, I've never been. I've had friends that have played there, like professional hockey. They said it was fantastic.
The Gulls?
The Gulls, yeah. But no, I don't really have a huge desire to
no
go
lust
to
to check that out or anything.
SeaWorld is kind of the Shawshank for marine life. So
I'm looking here, Balboa Park, free. You can walk around there. They have large palm trees and a body of water. The San Diego Zoo, the USS Midway Museum. That'd be an interesting afternoon if yourself and Dougie Hamilton.
The zoo, because wasn't that where Three's Company?
Really? Is that where they?
Isn't that where it was? Where I don't know. Maybe the zoo. I wouldn't mind going to see the San Diego Zoo. Well, with kids, it makes it a lot more interesting, so to speak. Dusty's. Well, he's a big kid himself. He's probably just having a blast.
$33 will get you into the Maritime Museum of San Diego. I'm sure Dusty and Tammy are probably.
Or maybe go watch the Navy SEALs work out. Go sit in the ocean.
That would be interesting.
That's because that's where their training headquarters is, right?
Yeah.
That's where.
That's sitting in the. That's very
sitting in the
fascinating
ocean
stuff.
and like all arm in arm and singing songs.
And they take somebody from the audience, like Dusty could go out there and try.
Yeah, yeah, holding that
Marine
log
for a day.
over your head or whatever. I don't know if you ever watched that Lone Survivor movie. I get sucked into things and I dive in and research. I watched that movie and I must have read 2 or 3 SEALs books on how the whole progression, because it's Hell Week. But that's not even the most of it. The more intriguing side is when they actually kind of pick a skill and like sniper or whatever, and all the underwater demolitions.
They pick it, or it's led
it's
up to
kind of
your
lined
strengths
up.
are this,
Yeah,
or
your
strength.
strength. Yeah, exactly. So fast. I think actually that would be my number 1 thing, is to go to and see SEAL training.
Man, if I could do it all over again, the marine life would be the life for me. I tell you that. I'd love to test my mettle against some of those activities. But I think Garrett's in the house here as well. 8:23. We're a little over the top here. Time for your Vegas keyword, Zach. If you are ready with that word, We'll be flashing it on the screen this morning. Once again, I'll read the word. We'll have the word up on the screen. YouTube, if you are watching this morning. Hopefully the Whale and the Wolf has taken a bit of a coffee break because they've been apparently playing through the audio streams this morning. We do apologize. We didn't do anything, but we'll try to get that situation rectified as soon as possible. But your keyword today, you can text in 780-218-9999. Zach will run all the texts through the randomizer, pick one lucky number, and give that a call. So if you text in the word, keep your phone on and keep it by your side, and you might be getting a phone call. You want to pick up that phone call. In the word today, Garoppolo. Maddie. Garoppolo, as in, the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. So spell Garoppolo, Garoppolo. I wouldn't have got it if I didn't have the sheet in front of me, to be honest. I haven't seen his name too much spelled out. But Garoppolo, text it in, 780-218-9999, and we'll let the texts fly in. And as mentioned, Zach will run it through the randomizer, and it is the EST YAG Flyaway for the YEG Airport. You'll have a chance as well coming up in the hang-up between 9 and 11, the Lock Shop, and the Oil Stream later on today right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's your chance to win a trip to Vegas, 2 nonstop flights, 3 nights accommodation, and tickets for a Cirque show presented by Fly YEG and the LVCVA. Nonstop flights to over 50 destinations. Your sports trip starts with a nonstop flight from Fly YEG. For more, visit www.flyyeg.com. Garoppolo. Use it as in sentence. Jimmy Garoppolo tossed a touchdown. Country of origin, I don't know. Garoppolo. Text in 780-218-9999. Fergie's prostate in the nasty chat. Old Town San Diego is a must.
Yeah.
With
Joe Balaneski is saying the SeaWorld is a waste of time and money, but the zoo is amazing. Went to the zoo at 10, didn't leave till 3, all caps. So that's
you must get your steps in for that place, I would assume.
Yeah,
like you're probably you got to catch them all the animals
Chris
there.
Thompson moved to San Diego 10 years ago and was so right to do so. Huh?
I'm all for it. I'll pop on my Padres hat every once in a while and root for the Friars.
The pot,
that park is it's situated in a nice spot. It's
perfect.
like Riverhawks, but on HGH in a way. Like you're downtown and those buildings and everything, and just hope that it'd be nice if the team could kind of get their what together. But
yeah,
I'm all for San Diego. I'll maybe try it out.
NFL game, baseball game. That's a good. You could time them both. Great weather. Then go hit the zoo.
It's Cali, right? So
it's a joke.
A bad day in Cali is a good day.
You're close to Tijuana too. You can always nip across for
Tijuana, right? Yeah. The Popeye studio has never looked so good. Loving the Gager subbing, and also LTE. Have you been working out? Comes in from Danky Kang. I'm still on my walks, my daily walks, and stone collecting. If you're in on that, hey, you know that whole thing.
No,
I'm not in the wrong. Am I here?
Very Navy SEAL of you putting rocks in a.
Thank you. Yes. Who needs a gym when you can kind of do the prison workouts? That Hernan Salas and I are always about prison workouts and that type of thing. But the natural strength. No, I'm still huffing the rocks back home, but I'm not in the wrong here.
No,
River Valley's huge.
Yeah,
a few stones here.
As long
as
they're not from your neighbor's front lawn. No, that's free game, I think.
I do have a bit of a gripe here, and we will bring in a qualifier here in Garrett in a second. But I was enjoying my evening last night, getting set for the Oilers game, and there was a young couple in my front yard on the sidewalk, and they had a small golden retriever, and you could tell it was a puppy, and they're trying to train it or whatever. This thing is leading the handler up and down my grass, up and down my front walk. Almost, I stand in the window staring, and the guy looks up, and I kind of raise my hands.
Yeah.
What's going on here? And he didn't. There's no oh sorry. There was no. And he just kind of looked back at me.
Really?
And I'm kind of like, okay, well, this is bad form. So he kind of makes his way slowly back down the yard, but then the dog's pawing at the flower beds. What are you doing here? And I opened the door and I stared because I don't want to. What I'm finding trouble now is they know where you live, so you can't really lay the smack down if they know where you. So I stared. I didn't go full Mike Thompson, but I just gave a long gazing stare, and I said, "What the hell is the matter with you people? You're trying to train this dog. The dog's training you.
Yeah.
You don't let it run on people's lawns. And you're a dog owner.
Yeah.
You get this a lot. You're in the off-leash parks. I know you know what I'm putting down here."
No, you definitely don't. It's not their playground. You don't go play.
I was going to invite him into the backyard.
Yeah,
you want to come romp around in the back? Can I give it a bath in my bathtub?
I mean, it's the equivalent of taking a lawn chair and sitting on their lawn and stuff.
What's the
I'm
deal?
kind of old and crotchety now when it comes to my front the front of my house. If anyone's there too long, I'll sit with a cup of coffee and
Just
stand there. You know,
can I help you?
Yeah, what's going on here? So, but no, that's not. I would get some people on my walks in Terwilliger. They do have signs. The dog no pee on my lawn. Throw one of those out.
Sure.
And I'll make sure my dog doesn't go in there because he likes to leave his scent with the
and
ripping
that's
up
fine. I get it.
So
They're
all So and I haven't run into any issues. I carry bags. I don't understand picking up your dog's excrement.
Part of the process. You sign up. It's part of the deal.
Don't tell me I don't have a bag. Like that's just ridiculous. I have so many poop bags in my house. I can pick up poop for years.
On that, we'll transition to the Vegas qualifier here. Who we got on the line, Zach?
We got Jordan on the line.
Jordan. Last name? First name?
Richie.
Jordan Ritchie?
Jordan Ritchie?
That's me.
Nate?
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. We were talking the other day, correct? You were in here for the hangout.
I was, yeah.
God, I love
Small
this.
world.
Isn't this a turn of events? Well, congratulations. You are our qualifier this morning for the Fly YEG nonstop trip to Vegas. You've qualified. You haven't won yet. But, Jordan, if you do get that call next Friday and you're the winner, who are you bringing? What are you doing? Have you been down to Sin City before in the past?
I've been there lots. I love Vegas. It's a great place. But first on the draw sheet would have to be my wife.
So you go down there normally for business or pleasure? What's kind of your...
Oh, pleasure for sure.
Okay.
I've got a group of guys that we've gone probably 14 years in a row with, and we're going actually next Sunday. So we're hoping for a Vegas-Edmonton series, but we might have to make a drive out to L.A.
Yeah, rent a car, right?
Yeah.
Can't be that long. Yeah. Maybe pop by San Diego while you're there, too. But
say hi to Dusty.
Yeah, exactly. Congrats, Jordan. And good to hear you again, man. Hope you're doing well and take care. Enjoy your first trip to Vegas, and we might be calling you next week for another one. So have a good weekend. Enjoy the opening round.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. Our latest qualifier into the Fly YEG promotion here, the YEG Flyaway. Once again, your next chance to qualify coming up in the Hangout, 9 to 11 with Maddie Iwanek and Tom Gazzola. And I do believe Dan Grummett will be gracing the studios this morning as well, former local reporter here on a variety of newscasts and companies. But 2 nonstop flights, 3 nights accommodation, tickets for a Cirque show, presented again by Fly YEG and the LVCVA. Nonstop flights to over 50 destinations. Your sports trip starts with a nonstop flight from Fly YEG. Visit www.flyyeg for more. It's not just Vegas. Maddie will be going down to Atlanta this summer, watching a little soccer. So check them out. Maybe Vegas ain't your speed, but lots of other destinations for nonstop flights, courtesy Fly YEG. 8:31. I don't have that Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week intro music on me right now. Do you?
No, I do not, actually.
Oh, but you do have a sports update you need to do. So that's going to be what we're going to do. You're going to do a sports update, Zach. We're going to slide Garrett in here. He's going to slide in the middle, and we'll get to a Sobeys and Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. The winning doesn't stop, though. If you didn't get the qualifying call, $50 to Sobeys is coming up as well with this segment. So get your phone ready again, and we'll have a trigger for you to text in and hopefully win $50 to Sobeys. But here's Zach again with a sports update.
The playoff picture is set in the West with the Kings and Oilers meeting up once again for the 3rd straight year. To close out the regular season, the Oilers did drop a 5-1 decision against the Avs, Holloway scoring in the game, with Kulak and Broberg getting the helpers. Jets rookie Nikita Chibrikov helped the Jets get a 4-2 win over the Canucks last night to close out the season. The Flames, Ducks, and Kraken also picked up wins to end the regular season. At the end of the season, the Sharks have the best chance for first overall at 25.5%. The Blackhawks, Ducks, and Blue Jackets hold the next highest chances for the top pick. The Blue Jays meet the Padres today at 7:40 p.m. to start a 3-game series. Over in the association, the Pelicans play the Kings, and the Heat face the Bulls to wrap up the play-in round. PWHL action saw Toronto lose 2-1 against Boston, while Montreal beat Minnesota 4-3. Play continues Saturday when Toronto plays Montreal and Ottawa meets Minnesota. Yukon freshman Stepan Castle has entered the NBA draft. Castle averaged 18 points in the Final Four tournament and ranks 9th in the ESPN Top 100 prospect list. Sports update brought to you by Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. BMPP is a real pizzeria restaurant, not just a delivery chain, serving authentic Italian cuisine with their handmade house pizza dough, traditional tomato sauce, and fresh toppings. Each pizza is cooked to perfection. Pizza experience you've been waiting for, visit them at 12848 97th Street. Order today at www.bmpp.ca or call 587-746-0550.
Eyes. You know what? I saw it in his eyes. Eyes. It's fun to watch his eyes. Eyes. And, he narrowed his eyes. He's been a horse. His eyes narrow. I saw it in his eyes. He loves his eyes. Eyes. It's going in the net. Horse eyes. People were highly critical of his eyes. His eyes narrow. Eyes. Eyes. Eyes.
All right, Hungry Eyes Remix featuring Dallas Aikens, 8:35 on Edmonton Sports Talk. It is the Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric in with you, Joaquin Gage alongside, Zacticum behind the monitors, doing a bang-up job with the updates and everything else this morning. A few gremlins in the system. We do apologize, but hopefully that's all been rectified. And a little whale on the wolf don't hurt either if that's pumping up over the over your sports talk today as well. And we're joined right now in studio by Garrett Gallipo, Sobeys Liquor and Safeway Liquor. Thank you for joining us again today for another Sobeys Liquor Beer of the Week.
Thanks for having me.
And let's just dive into this. It's always exciting when you come by because you bring the tumbler.
Oh yeah,
the
Good
tumbler.
crystal.
And this is quite a row here we got going on.
It's quite the lineup today.
So let's knock them down here. What's going on?
Sure. So we're doing Blind Man Brewing today. So
Awesome.
They're based out of Lacombe. I think we've had them many times before, but
A great brewery.
they brew so many beers. It's like I would say upwards 15 plus that they have kind of ongoing all the time. So we're gonna rip through 5 today. So basically they're based out of Lacombe. They've been around since 2014. And so one of the things I brought in for you guys is the shirts.
Yes. And we were talking about we were discussing this weeks earlier again. That they created these shirts, did they not? The
Yeah, so
Whiz Bang does magic. Yeah,
so basically they do carbon capture, which is one of the big things that they were talking about with this, where when you brew beer, there's a lot of carbon dioxide that comes out of it. And so they've been capturing it using a machine, again, doing some magic, whiz banging it, and they use it to go back into the beer to carbonate it.
Wow.
So it's it's a big thing. Apparently a lot of breweries have been reaching out to them, trying to see what the technology is and very interested in it.
It's nice that they're kind of leading the way in that department and form. It's something to be proud of and hang your brewer's hat on, I think.
I think it's the first place in Canada doing it, which is it's really good. It's really interesting.
I mentioned you. I got a DM from Hans yesterday. He said something I'm not sure has been talked about before in Edmonton Sports Talk or on any platform from my limited listening experience is what McDavid's legacy nickname should be. Moose, the Great One, Sid the Kid, etc. Maybe something fun to chat about on air. So if you have any legacy names for one Connor McDavid or whatever else people are calling him these days once everything's dusted, send them in 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat and we'll forward them over to Hans at Blind Man Brewing. But what's Hans in the brewery got for us today here? This is, again, great row.
Yeah, we're going to kind of go through all these really quick here, but let's start with New England Pale Ale. So actually, you know what? We'll start with the Pilsner.
Yeah, let's start.
We'll start with the Pilsner.
A legendary Pilsner here.
Yes.
Yes. 5 of Diamonds, eh?
So, and I brought you some of the extra because I've heard you've
Thank
been
you.
brewing a Pilsner.
Yeah,
That's the big reveal today, yeah. Probably a little mixology as well during the segment.
Oh,
Hey,
I think I'm going to let you take a swing at it today.
I don't need my lab coat here.
So we're gonna try their 5 of Diamonds Pilsner. So this is gonna be like your classic Pilsner. You know, it's that classic, clean, refreshing. You can drink, you know, a bunch of them back to
5
back.
tool beer, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Well, to the Oilers.
To the Oilers.
Kings, eh?
Yeah.
Just how I remember it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Like that's
It's a heck of a start.
yeah.
To
No,
the
when
line.
when you go to someone's house, I always see these.
Yeah.
in the beer fridge. Everyone's got at least a few of those.
And they're not offensive, right? You can hand them to anyone. Everyone's gonna like Pilsner.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump around because some of these have a lot more flavor. So I wanted to start with the Pilsner being nice and simple. We'll jump to New England Pale Ale. So this is one of my favorite styles of beer. So these are the new kind of like the twist on IPAs, that hazy
Niepa.
pale ale.
Niepa? Niepa?
Yeah, any IPA.
Any IPA?
This one is a go-to for me when I stop by my Sobeys when it's there. I love this one.
Yeah, anytime I see hazy pale ale, I'm in. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So this one's 5.5%, and it's gonna have that kind of classic, kind of a little bit of the IPA, so not extremely hoppy, but they always kind of lean more towards the fruit and like citrusy, so like grapefruit kind of
Juicy. On the can.
juicy.
Let's text cheers to one Matthew Iwanek. After we started the contest, Garoppolo got cut from the Raiders and now a Ram. So he admits, and that's good, and it's good on Matty too. So cheers to Matty Iwanek for compiling the list of words as he does in an inventive and creative form, and for the Garoppolo word today. So cheers to Matty Iwanek.
Cheers.
Holding it down.
Cheers.
Damn.
Really good.
That's a good one.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I think we'll jump over to the Session Ale next. We're gonna say the last two because they're really flavorful.
Another
We're gonna
familiar
go with.
can here as well from Blind Man. This is a can that you see quite a bit. I
Yeah.
do anyways in my travels.
They have really good artwork on their cans.
Yep. Well, it stands out from the crowd. There's so many brewers these days, and you go into a store and it's like a candy, you know, it's
Yep.
colors and everything, but you got to stand out somewhere.
And you have to, right? Like, I mean, there's so many this day. You have to have a good.
Yeah.
So, so River Session Ale. So Session Ales, usually they're a little bit lower alcohol, a little bit lower calories, and it's sessions. So you can have multiple within a session. So this one's 4.4%. And again, it's just going to have that kind of lower punch IPA. I'd say similar to like the hazy, but on a lower kind of level of flavor.
I think this next cheers should be going out to Zach to give him a hell of a week it's been for him, hey?
Yeah,
Zach. Boom,
congratulations.
boom, 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 boom. Yeah, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Don't worry, he'll have a sample post-show as well. There's always a little left in the bottom of the cans for Zach. But
What a good brewery, man.
Yeah.
These are
They
solid
hit it.
beers.
So we got two more coming. So we have the beer of the week, which is the cherry raspberry sour, which I think we'll actually do next because the Long Shadow IPA is quite powerful.
cherry raspberry sour. Now I'm getting a little tentative now. Tell
So
you that.
have you guys had sours before?
Had the sours. It's the cherry part. I'm not too with the beer.
I find sours can be really hit and miss. Sometimes they have that extremely tart, like you're drinking lemon
Yeah,
juice, and sometimes they have that little kick to them. So this one, again, you got the little ruby color kind of going on to it, and you're just gonna have that hint of raspberry and cherry.
Any cheers, boys, that you have?
I think you got to go to Connor McDavid with the 100 assists. That's,
Yes.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Can't
a
stop
good one,
celebrating
Connor.
it.
That's
Woo!
yeah, that hits you later. The sour. I'm not a huge sour guy. I've had a few that are,
Depends on the sour, maybe. Hey,
but I find if I don't know it's sour, I enjoy it more.
Yeah.
when I don't say sour. I don't know what it is. But
you're Aiden Hill last year.
Yeah.
The ignorance is bliss,
Yeah,
baby. You just
exactly.
kinda-
But,
See, I find those are the perfect kind of like starter.
Yeah.
You know, step out onto the patio, whatever. You have one of those, and then you go into the rest.
maybe game one on a 16-degree afternoon here Monday. That might be the place to start, eh?
Exactly. So now we'll go to the last one. So this is Long Shadows IPA. So this one has been around forever. You know, the brewery's been open on 10 years now, and I think this one was part of the original lineup. No one's here to tell me I'm wrong, so we'll go with that. But it's 7.1%, and it's going to be a good kick IPA.
This is a good Sunday morning watching the F1 race. Let's just.
When you say good kick, though, is it like immediate or is it? I mean,
I would say it'll have that. I mean, like all IPAs, they have that punch to them.
Yeah.
This one, like again, it's not like that hop bomb kind of to it, but you know, when you have a can of this, it's 7.1%. You're gonna feel that. Jared, I was gonna go to the Jays, who've been having a decent series coming out of the Yankees series.
Yeah. 2 or 3 from the Yankees. You can't complain. Eh?
Can't complain.
Yeah.
All right.
To the Jays.
To the Jays.
Really good.
Really good.
Oh,
that's.
I could be friends with that one.
Eh?
You know, just you mentioned at the time, but that's a
racing,
relaxing, just a sipper and
just a sipper. You
let
can't
it wash over you.
You don't crush it, but it definitely hits the toes when you're drinking in the morning.
So I was gonna let you kind of come up with your own concoction today. So I was thinking you need to include the beer of the week, but then you just kind of pick.
Well, and it's
like.
good that you can include this and you can kind of cut it. I guess is the term. Hey, I what do you got going on over there? I mean, should we bring in this into the fold, or do we kind of like?
This is what I call it's a pad stack pilsner that I have created myself. A little bit more malty. I went with a different yeast. It's a Bavarian yeast. I just wanted the expert to sample.
Can we give it a shot?
Well, we'll do that. Let's say I'll let you open it, so it doesn't blow up on me.
Who knows?
Get the goggles on.
This is the first time, so let's hope. I'm gonna go. I'll usually.
Hey,
that's not too bad.
That's good.
Okay,
that's not too bad. Glasses.
Let's just see here.
Pour.
Sure, I can do the pour,
and then we'll do a mix. Good body, hey? Or
just dump her right in there.
Okay. Two pads.
This is a 2-pad stack pilsner.
2-pad stack pilsner.
Yeah.
Leather
that one back to you. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Cheers, Gage.
Cheers to the homemade.
Well, that's smooth.
It's nice.
That's
very smooth.
Yeah.
You're
that
proud
like
papa
it.
there, right?
Oh yeah.
Proud papa.
Wow. I got a future.
Oh yeah.
Add it to the Wikipedia page.
He's going somewhere now.
Okay, well, and again, now this and I mean, I'm thinking the 5 of diamonds, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just to give it a little little legs.
Hey,
there,
you're in charge.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's the mix today. It's
the mix
the
today.
beer of the week, the cherry raspberry sour, and the 5 of diamonds pill. Why not? Let's take it for a spin. Let's do this right now as well. Text in Beer Me to 780-218-9999 and $50 on the line to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. So text in Beer Me right now to 780-218-9999. Beer Me. Text it in. And you could be $50 richer in Sobeys and Safeway Liquor bucks. And we'll be dishing that out after the show and after the segment here. But this is the beer of the week. Once again, the deals, just to run through this again.
Yeah, so I'll run through it. So they're all on sale for $14.99 right now, every single one of them. And then you get 150 points when you buy 2. So really mix and match, and maybe this concoction we come up with here will be your mix and match.
Check out the beer of the week. Check out these deals, and pick up a couple of 4s of 6 o'clock or longer while you're at it as well with the deal right now.
Might as well.
Absolutely. Okay, boys. Well, cheers to the Mixmaster Garrett Gallipo. Thank you for your time and joining us today, man.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Wow.
That's where it's at.
There you go.
That's good.
I got to say, these mixes, they get better every week.
Yeah.
Well, a can of that, a tall boy the Pilsner, and a tall boy, that's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
Yep. You're living
there.
Try it. You're living there. Well, anything else anything else coming down the chute? This is the deal.
That's everything.
Is it. Blind
That's
Man
it.
Brewery. Check
the
them
mix
out.
and match.
Garrett, we really appreciate your time, man. And I guess stick around now. We'll do the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours. Checked him out today, William Huff. And I'm going to get, actually, Garrett, you can help us out here if you want your place. WilliamHuff.com. They've been in business since 1972, so you know they're incredible in what they do. And I'm just going to bear with me here as we have this. This is what William Huff has got for the playoffs.
Oh, hold it up.
Yep. If you will, for a second there. And
They got these too, right?
Look at this. Look at that. Exactly. Yeah. They got stickers, decals. Go check them out today. WilliamHuff.com. Or you can just a quick Google search. You can go down to their offices there. But banners such as this that Garrett's holding up, larger, I do believe smaller. They got pom-poms. They got stickers. Do it right. Do these playoffs right. Don't rest. Get the good stuff from William Huff. WilliamHuff.com. Once again, in business since 72, so you know they're good at what they do. Thank you very much, Garrett. That was good hanging, man. It's a good banner and good stickers. You want to, again, we have a couple of days to prepare. So I think it's sharp that today, Friday, we mentioned getting the food and the drink.
Yeah.
Pop down to William Huff and see what they can hook you up with in terms of decoration.
Get it done before Monday, man.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to... You have the luxury of having these days now. The schedule makers have laid it out now. It's all good, so get that going. What did you specifically learn on the show today? And Garrett, if you learned anything as well in your 10 minutes here, you can chime in.
Jeez, what did I learn? I learned that it's a different playoff vibe for Oilers fans. I think the disappointment last year was gut-wrenching, and I think it's everyone's got a different mindset. It's step by step. I think there's some maturity, just like the Oilers, but they're ready to buckle in and hopefully get ready for a great few next weeks.
We know it's not good. None of it is easy. There are better paths maybe than others. But your thoughts, Garrett, on drawing the Kings in as opposed to the Golden Knights or whatever, or do you care? You don't give a damn. They're going to beat anybody in front of them.
I don't know. I mean, it's been an interesting year. Rough start to a good middle. And, I think everyone just feels better about it going into it this time. That I think everyone's in a good place. Everyone's happy. We're in the playoffs. It's hard to be upset.
What are we watching tonight, boys? Anything on the schedule? I know, Joaquin, you and I will be nestling into a little Shanghai sprinting here post-show here in the EST HQ. But, a couple of NBA play-in games this evening as well, to which we haven't discussed too much, but... given the circumstances here in town and the Oilers drawing their opening round opponents last night, we can be forgiven. But Bulls visiting the Heat, Kings visiting the Pelicans tonight. The winner only goes off to face the number one seed in both those conferences. So good luck there. You got to love it. But you mentioned the Blue Jays, and they kick off a series. Yeah, San Diego way. And that's where Dustin Nielson and family are for their vacation. As mentioned, he is off for the next little while this week and half of next. He'll be back either Wednesday or Thursday. Joaquin Gage and Jason Mill will be joining me throughout next week, getting you set for games 1 and 2. But Jays down in San Diego tonight. Game 1 of that 3-game set. As mentioned, the NBA play-in. Little PGA action going on as well. The RBC Heritage. I think Zach Kim's had a few updates with that throughout the morning on the sports. Text of the day. Did anything? I know we didn't preface this by you looking out, but did anything jump out at you that you're like, "Wow, what a text!"
Well, no, the whole hockey talk with the pads kind of threw me. I didn't, I didn't have a real text of the day. I didn't really look at it. So.
I'll say this right now: 8:51. If you want to get in, this is the time to swoop in and steal that $20 to A&W for text of the day. So 780-218-9999 is the number to text. And I know all the beer me texts are coming in. We'll pick somebody for that as well. $50 to Sobeys and Safeway Liquor. We'll be getting that. Garrett, we'll let you go here. I appreciate your time as always as well. We'll play a little. What will we play out with? Maybe the What Say You remix here. We'll get that going, and we'll sashay away and enjoy your weekend, man, and enjoy the opening round of the playoffs. We'll probably talk sooner than later, maybe, eh?
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks.
It was really good.
Yeah.
What say you?
Thanks.
Hey, nasty crew.
I did it.
We got the Nielson show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tutti and Eric and all at the back end. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Captain can gauge it. Maybe slip up at a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some Huntics and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat up the tie of fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramella, Rapapo, Dragger and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him giving present, does he go for? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, yeah, 8:53. You're listening to the Nielson Show, Edmonton Sports Talk. Just rounding out the show this morning, Lieutenant Eric in and Joaquin Gage as well. Zach Tkim behind the monitors. Dustin Nielson, our overlord and savior, will be back midweek next week. He's on a family vacation.
So is he going tonight to the Padres game or is it
tomorrow night? Yeah.
So tomorrow we have to watch that Jays game. I'm sure there's some EST merch possibly in the stand somewhere. Hopefully that makes an appearance. And
Game 1 tonight, San Diego's first pitch 7:40. Tomorrow, the Nielson game, I think we can call it.
The Nielson
6:40 first pitch, so a little earlier. Again, you can kind of get your Stanley Cup playoff viewing in as well. Bruins and Leafs will be going on around the time, but 6:40 tomorrow evening, Padres Jays with the Nielsen family in attendance. It's wild. It's going to be a Where's Waldo the whole time, and you're DiCaprioing the screen all the time. But we'll look forward to that. And once again, Dustin will be back midweek next week. Maybe on the day of Game 2 or following Game 2, we shall see. But Jason Milne and Joaquin Gage, of course, will be joining me alongside YouTube Trevin. Getting you set, Oilers Kings, once again, Game 1, coming up Monday. Tom Gazzola, he'll have your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows wallpapered here at EST, all through the Stanley Cup playoff run for the Oilers at Hudson's West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street, and at Hudson's White Avenue. It's going to be a great time. We mentioned earlier the weather's turning this weekend. You had it was a rough week. The temperatures were a little low. You had these two disastrous regular season games to kind of get out of your system and get through. We're done. It's Friday. You're feeling good. Temperatures will rise. And Monday, as I said, it's going to feel like a Friday around these parts, man. Like that's going to be sunshine, 16. Game 1?
We're locked in the vault, the winter vault, for so long, and now that playoffs are here, I love. As a player, it was always great playing in a climate that was more winterized because when spring sprung, you knew it was time.
The calendar matches with the game calendar.
And just the Hugo Boss wool suits go back and you take out the Armani linen, right? And it's just you're free flowing in the breeze and playing every second day. It's this is the best time of the year for a hockey player. They all say it. Hopefully we can. This is a long and prosperous journey that for Oilers fans that they can go on. Just be safe. Let's getting on Yegwave isn't recommended.
You don't
by
get a banner.
EST.
You don't raise a banner for that.
Yeah, no. Let's keep it classy, even though that Dusty's in San Diego.
Act like you've been there before, maybe.
Yeah,
that type
no,
of,
you
phrase
don't.
Maybe comes out again.
Don't act like Canucks fans, please.
We also have, and Dustin Nielsen texting my phone right now as I'm like, oh shoot, what did I say or didn't say? Hey boys, here are the top 6 label designs for Birdie Juice so far. Could be more coming in later today. Today is the deadline, and we have a link. And we should have been mentioning this as well, but I think a lot of people have already been sending in their submissions. So we have a good stack of them,
These
AI
are
and
fantastic.
otherwise. Oh, it's just great. And they're all a little different. It all takes a different turn, hey? But the EST Birdie Juice, keep it locked to us. Keep it following our socials. If you follow those, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, you'll be up to date on everything and anything going on here around EST, namely the Birdie Juice, which is on the horizon. But maybe, again, I am always scared of saying too much, but a little sampling later today, perhaps.
There might, a little birdie. A birdie might have told me.
Before it hits the streets, we got to make sure that it's, just like your Pilsner.
Just like the yeah. What? Give me.
Run.
Come on.
Well,
come
okay.
On. Give me what you think. Give me what you think.
He says yesterday he's bringing his 2-pad stack Pilsner. I'm like, okay, well, that's great because, as you said, too, people are brewing wine, beer these days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. You can buy a kit. And I'm like, okay, well, same with your smoking. Everybody does it. How good can it be?
Yeah.
So he comes in, he brings the bottle, and you tell me it's the Grolsch Pop Top thing. I'm like, well, he's spare no expense here. But I tell you, the look was a little cloudy. Like it's not a clear.
It's
and that's fine because that's homemade.
Yeah.
But smooth as butter.
Yeah.
Like that was a. You
No,
did
it's,
well, man.
I was worried about the.
How much?
I was worried a little bit about the carbonation because I went a little finishing before bottling, but actually with the pop, it can go two ways. It doesn't do anything, or we have an explosion.
And we got the pop and no explosion.
We got the
so
pop,
you got it
no,
all.
So
perfect.
I'm a brewmaster.
Yeah, Brewmaster Joaquin,
It's
Leather Daddy, former goalie, current financial advisor.
It's like when Tony Stark says he is Iron Man. I am a brewmaster.
You heard it here. That's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up here. Text of the day as well. I'm going to go through the inbox here. I'm going to read every single text that was sent in this morning and find a text of the day winner. So I'll be reaching out to you as well. Thank you so much for your time this morning, hitting the likes, hitting the subs. Everything we got to do. I know it's a drag when Dusty's not here. He is the supreme overlord. He is the EST man.
The supreme leader.
He is our boy. But thanks for tuning in. Joaquin Gage will be back with me Monday. Tales of the North returns as well. It's game one. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a beautiful weekend leading up to game one Monday. For Zach to get behind the monitors, outstanding Zach on the sports updates. You killed it, man. And all the other things happening. Because usually when you take on more work, that's when the other stuff starts happening. And I think you handled it like a pro, a seasoned vet. So good job and a great week for you, man. And for Jason Milne as well, joining me the past couple. Joaquin, thank you very much for your time, the Brewmaster. And Hangouts coming up next, and it's your next chance to get into that Vegas qualifier for Fly YEG. 9 to 11, Matt Iwanek, Tom Gazzola, Dan Grummett, and the glue guy Jay Milne is in the house. It's going to be a great hangout this morning. So for everybody here at EST, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your support. Enjoy your weekend. Get prepped today. Don't leave it too late. And we'll talk to you Monday. Bring your big boy pants. It's going to be a big day, and we're going to get you set. Enjoy your weekend hangout coming up next.